Not going to screw it up this time. Deep breath. Welcome back to episode 244 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast. My name is Josh. I'm here with Baba Louie, Bobo Lubai, Bibu, Lubu, whatever you want to call him, and Phil, who decided no girl called yesterday. So you're here. Is what happened?
Yeah, I'm girlless today. No girls today. Sausage fest at the Phil house. Yeah.
How was your getaway?
Oh, it was awesome. Very good. Scrubbed the brain, relax, reset, ready to go. Ready to have a very successful week. Yeah. I don't kiss and tell, so no more questions.
Big spoon or little spoon?
Always big spoon. I'm driving. I have to drive the car. Always.
Okay. Did you cook her dinner?
No, she cooked me dinner, and it was amazing. My friend is one of the best cooks I've ever had the privilege of eating the food that her hands make. She's absolutely incredible, a career woman. We get together every few months, and we enjoy each other's company. And she goes back to her career, and I go back to my hockey cards.
Was there a little like Lady and the Tramp spaghetti scene where you each sucked on a noodle and your lips met, and her face got mauled by your bristly mustache, or what happened?
Close. Some of those phrases you just said did happen, but they were individual. They weren't mutual. And
together. Carry the 1, add 7 divided by 4.
We're not carry the 4. We're not a mushy gushy professional couple together. We're it's a business arrangement.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, did you ever watch Flight of the Conchords?
Of course, absolutely.
Remember the song "It's Business Time"?
It's business time. Oh yeah. Guess what? It's Wednesday. It's business time.
All right. Well, this is a hockey card show, not a little dating show, but
it could be. Hey, Josh, don't skip over that. Feel free to send your stepmother applications in. All 3 of you listening, and I'll go over them accordingly. All right.
Hasselhoff does need a stepmom. Let's just be honest. It's not going great as far as like the upbringing goes. Like he needs a woman's touch.
Yeah,
I think
he needs this house is definitely. My poor son has been in a guy's house his whole life. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know my soft skills very well, and I'm discovering them too. So I'm trying to nest better. You know.
Well, that's great.
Oh, so cute.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Well, we had episode 2 of Friday Nights with Phil. How did that go? Were you happy with the result? Do you have fun?
I was super happy, but when I woke up the next day, I didn't feel as excited as I did the week before. But I mean, it's hard to top like 100 mail day envelopes, right?
And
I just don't want to be boring. I don't want to be boring for the people watching, and I'm very excited to have a lot more people calling in. Friday Nights with Phil is going to be extremely interactive, and I want to pay more attention to the chat moving forward. Because then, what's the point of being live if you don't, right?
Right.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever called you boring in your entire life?
No, definitely not.
There you go.
Yeah, it's still a fear of mine though. Fear unlocked.
Yeah, I'd probably worry about other things. I think it was pretty entertaining. You're right. I just think you were more nervous for the first episode, and so you didn't have as much sort of like there wasn't as much adrenaline flowing through you.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. All right, well, you did good. Everyone tune in. Friday Nights with Phil starting at 9 p.m. Eastern time on the Gongshow YouTube. It's always a good time. And now me and Louie are done. Now we go to trolling you in the comments. I can't wait for that, Louie.
Yep. Can't wait for that one.
You're going to be your worst nightmare, Phil.
My producer has heavy instructions to block quickly.
Oh, okay.
You ever been blocked on your own channel, boys?
Don't think you can. Okay, we got to do a little bit of Rip Hardy shipping update. This Canada Post strike that Phil promised would be over in 2 days is not. So I think we're just going to bite the bullet this week and ship them. Yeah. So we'll try to send our tracking information or just expect your orders soon, and then just say a prayer for us that UPS isn't like $10,000. Right. That would be nice. So, but we can't hold them any longer. It's been like a month, and we just got to do it. So, hope you all enjoy your cards because they're coming. And we're cooking up an idea for the Spring Expo. I think we universally decided we're not going to do Rip Party in spring, right?
No, that's silly. Can't do that.
It will get
too soon.
It's too soon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we got another idea that we're noodling, So if you have any ideas of cool events we could do in spring, let us know, because we're in the what they call the ideation phase. We're brainstorming, we're whiteboarding, we're connecting circles and dots and doing all those funny things right now, trying to come up with something amazing. Okay, boys, we got a huge show today. It's a big one. So last thing before we get started. Oh, what, Louis? What?
No,
Huh?
it's
Who?
a big one.
Oh
Okay,
boy.
it's a biggie. We need to remind you, though, that this show, this Gong Show, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, is a Patreon podcast, which means we rely on the support of listeners like yourself to help us cover our show expenses, produce more and what we hope is better hockey card content, and then to fund initiatives, even in a small way, to grow the hockey hobby, like Rip Party.
Oh,
Yeah, you can support us. It's very easy. It's as little as $5 a month, US, through Patreon. Go to our website, though. I think Apple charges like stupid fees now.
mm-hmm.
Go on your computer, go to hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link at the top of the page. If you can't remember our website name, there's a link in the show description in both YouTube and the podcast apps, and our Instagram, TikTok profiles, or just go to, or wait, descriptions, profiles.
Yes.
Instagram and TikTok profiles. Well, you'd think after about 4,000 times saying this, I'd understand where our Patreon is, but apparently I don't.
You'll get there.
Okay. And then where else? Oh, go to Patreon's website directly, patreon.com, search for Hockey Cards Gong Show. We have one new patron since our last show. I'm very, very excited. Tyler from Boston. Wonder what team he likes. Rangers?
Oh, probably.
Could you imagine he's a Rangers fan? He could be.
Yeah.
You never know.
I don't know. And then Babalu, you're doing something kind of fun once in a while through Patreon, right? Or through our Discord.
Yeah, just picking out some fun things that I see during the week to, funny things or any good news to put up there. And I found that Dog is Pilot must be a little bit behind, but I still think this is funny. He says, I just watched the segment last night where Phil talks about eating in bed and the cake fiasco at the expo.
Come on,
I freaking cried. I laughed so hard.
Why is this so interesting? Well, like I find it really hard to believe no one else has fallen asleep on some type of frosting dessert. Like, well, I'm the only person anybody has ever heard of falling asleep in food. Come on, man.
But it's not that you fell asleep on it. You murdered it. It was dead. It was disintegrated. It was a crime scene the next morning, Phil. Come on.
What else would happen? Okay, if a grown man rolls over on any type of dish that is created, it would look like a murder scene. I don't understand why it would be a clean.
I think something happened in your dreams where you took something out on that cake. We just don't know what it is. It was scary. I was scared. Your son was crying.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to say. He was crying.
Well, he's a crier, so that's nothing new there. Hasselhoff cries all the time.
Dog is Pilot is awesome...
He woke up in the middle of the night hearing you say, "You're naughty, and you were beating the cake up.
You're adopted. You're adopted."
Okay. Gross. There's always fun stuff that happens in Discord. I look forward. One of the first things I do every morning is I go into Discord and check it out. Okay, Louis, let's get this train wreck.
Monster train wreck going.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the game plan. Start off with get to know your Hall of Famers. Then we're going to go into who's hot in the struggle bus. Followed by that, some hobby news. Then it's the Hobby Mount Rushmore Edmonton Oilers. Josh, don't screw this up. Then it's a masterclass, the history of hockey through the eyes of O-Pee-Chee, with the only typo, but it's supposed to be Bobby Burrell. Today it's Bibby.
Oh, Bibby.
Bibby. Then we go
Bibby.
Product releases, Gongshow Mailbag, and personal pickups.
All right, get to know Hall of Famers. Excited about this one. I love learning about all these guys. This is a series where we are chronicling the life achievements and hobby market for each enshrined member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. Well, we're starting at the beginning, the very early days of the Hall of Fame, 1945, working back to present day. We already did the first 9 inductees from the original 1945 class. Now we've moved on to the second Hall of Fame class from 1947, where today's player that we're going to profile is one of Phil's absolute favorites, Dit Clapper. You guys suck. Oh, Aubrey Victor Dit Clapper.
So dumb. So dumb.
Was born in Newmarket, Ontario, 1907. Lived until 1978. He received the nickname Dit. Yo, Dit. As a result of a childhood lisp that caused him to pronounce Vic as Dit. So, okay, that makes sense. Big guy. Coming in at 6'2", 195 pounds, Phil. That's a big dude, eh?
Big dick. Yeah, big guy.
He played 20 seasons in the NHL, all for the Boston Bruins, where he played defense and wing positions. Clapper three times was the first player to play 20 seasons in the NHL. Very first guy. He's only one of 9 players to play 20 seasons with the same team, even to this day. That's crazy.
That's wild. Yeah.
Going back over 100 years. When Dit Clapper...
Louis, you got to clap more than once. Who claps one time?
Three times. It's three times.
Well, it sounds like one. Okay, whatever. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. When Dit Clapper was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1947, he was the first living member to be inducted. So we've done 12 players right now. He's the first guy that was ever... No, well, maybe a couple of the other ones were, but he was the first living guy to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. In 835 career games, he scored 229 goals, added 248 assists for 477 points. Won the Stanley Cup 3 times, 1929, 1939, 1941. Clappers 3 Stanley Cups is the most, even to this day, by any Bruins player. He was also a 3-time NHL All-Star Team selection, all as a defenseman. The day Clapper retired from professional hockey on February 12, 1947, the Bruins announced his number 5 would be retired. Didn't take long. Day retired, eh?
Mm-hmm.
In 1983, here's kind of a story. I don't know if it's... Yeah, I don't think it's good. No, I don't. In 1983, the Bruins signed former Montreal Canadiens star Guy Lapointe. Lapointe sought to wear his customary number 5 jersey, which had been retired in Clapper's honor nearly 40 years before. Team general manager Harry Sinden agreed to Lapointe's request, but under protest from Clapper's family, Bruins superstar Bobby Orr, and the public, Lapointe switched to number 27 after a handful of games. That's not a good look for Guy Lapointe, is it?
No, not particularly.
Yeah, not good. Okay. Here's why you should care about Dit Clapper.
I don't anymore.
Clapper. This is kind of over.
Yeah, I'm done.
I didn't realize how many times, but we're committed to the bit. We're committed to the bit. Clapper.
Again? Jesus.
Was one of the few players in NHL history to excel as both a forward and a defenseman. He began his career as a right winger and transitioned to defense later, showcasing elite skills in both roles. He, thank God, served as the Bruins captain for 14 years, demonstrating strong leadership and earning the respect of teammates and opponents alike. He, thank God, was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1947, the year he retired, bypassing the standard 3-year waiting period, which underscored his impact on the game. As a forward, Clapper was part of the famous Dynamite line, with Cooney, Wieland, Dutch Gaynor as one of the league's most dominant scoring lines during the 1920s and early 1930s. As a defenseman, Clapper.
I'm done.
Come on, we're almost there. We're almost
okay. All right.
Combined physically with offensive instincts, helping redefine the role of a blue liner in the NHL. Let's look at his hobby market. Although Clapper, his NHL debut in 1927, his first hockey cards would not appear until 1933. There were 4 separate hockey releases in 1933, and Dit Clapper has a card in each one. There's the 1933 V129 Anonymous Hockey number 36, where his PSA 8 has sold for as much as $14,000 in October.
What? $14,000?
Yeah. Well, I think this whole like anonymous. So there was a world where there was a hockey card company, and to this day, nobody knows who it was.
Wild. I don't know anything about this. The 33s?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, there was 4 hockey releases in 33. 3 were gum, and then 1 was, I think they thought gum, but nobody knows. It's just anonymous.
Cool. Someone's got to know somewhere.
I don't know.
Not
Then there
even,
was then
not even Bobby Burrell knows?
no, PSA doesn't know. It says anonymous. Yeah, no,
What?
not even Bobby Burrell. 1933 Worldwide Gum number 1, first card in the set, Ice Kings, where another high graded copy, this PSA 8 sold for as much as $8,700 in January of 2022. It's a cool card. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the 1933 V252 Canadian Gum, where his PSA 6 has sold for as high as $3,584 US in March of 2021. And then finally, the 1933 O-Pee-Chee Series A, this SGC 8 with an orange background shown on YouTube is the all-time highest selling copy of this card. It sold for $2,988 US in November 2016. So that was 8 years ago. The only other Dit Clapper playing card days card that I could find is this 1937. Well, boys, what do we think of Dit Clapper?
I think my hands hurt.
I think I'm glad he's done.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever do that again, but
No.
I wonder how many times we clapped for Dit Clapper.
Well, you have the power to say
No.
him or he instead of Clapper. You could have made it only 4 times.
I stuck to the script, Phil.
All right.
We got you when you commit to something, even when you know it's going horribly wrong. You just see it through.
You got to do it.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Oh boy.
From that debacle, let's go to this week's Who's Hot in the Struggle Bus. Time for week 7. Who's Hot in the Struggle Bus? Now, if you're not familiar, it's where we highlight 3 players ripping it up and lighting the lamp in the past week or 2. Then we also punch a few tickets for a ride on the Struggle Bus as well. And for those that are on it, the struggle is real. Yeah.
7
Let's
weeks.
start.
7 weeks we're in, guys. That's crazy. I feel like hockey just started last week.
Fly by.
Fine.
We're going to be talking about the off-season dip soon, Phil.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Let's focus on week 7, though. We're
going to start positive because we're puppy dogs and ice cream here. We
Mhm.
like, good thoughts, happy thoughts, glass half full with Who's Hot. So I had to go with, after much nomination in our Gongshow Discord, finally swayed me to Sam Reinhart, who in his last 7 games, he has 5 goals, 1 assist for 6 points. That's not bad. But also, this is kind of a makeup for leaving him off Who's Hot all season, where in 24 games played, he has 18 goals, 15 assists for 33 points. That's an 82 game pace of, he's on pace for like 61 or 62 goals this year and 113 points. Now, last season was a breakout year for the 29-year-old Reinhart, where he scored 57 goals and helped lead the Panthers to Lord Stanley's Cup. Phil, do you know that the Panthers won the Cup last year?
Yeah, I watched the game. It was great. Very happy.
Last season's performance from Reinhart was a big jump from the 33 goals he had the year prior, but he's also scored 30 goals now 3 straight NHL seasons, and it looks like he's comfortably on that pace to get at least 30 in 2024-25. Now, not many guys who are in their 10th NHL season become hobby stars, so I don't know, if there's much upside on the hobby market for Reinhart. Probably not, I would guess, but it is cool to see him emerge and pick up where he left off last season. Right, Zach Hyman? Right? 3 goals.
What?
What did Sylvain? He was very smart not holding Zach Hyman cards, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, super smart. 3 big ticket items too, right? Not just 1.
Yeah. Looking at Reinhardt's hobby market real quick, he is a 2014 Young Guns PSA 10 pop 388, 71% gem rate, which last sold for $93 US on November 28th, up 29% in the past 2 weeks and up 24% in the past 3 months. So a little bit of a hobby run on Sam Reinhart.
Moving
Okay,
on
Louis.
up.
Could have guessed who your pick for who's hot's going to be, but go ahead.
Hey, it wasn't going to be, but I couldn't get away from it.
Okay.
Oh, you picked one of your favorite players?
Well, when you're playing good, you're playing good.
All right.
All right. In his last 7 games, Nico Hischier is tallied, like the aforementioned Reinhardt, 5 goals and 1 helper for 6 points. He also tallied a hat trick in his game against the Predators last Monday for the first in his career. Surprised it took him that long. Yeah. He is now sitting after 27 games with 15 goals, which is tied for 4th, 12 assists for 27 points. His number 1 line is the top scoring line for the Devils alongside Timo Meier and Stefan Noesen. He started the first third of this season pretty hot, and I'd like to see that trend continue from him and see him touch that 100-point mark at the end of the season, which was almost met, has not been met yet in 2022-23 by Mr. Jack Hughes with 99 points.
Wait, stop there.
Yeah.
So no Devils has ever scored 100 points?
Not according to...
What?
That... Dang it, what's the name of that little database thing I use?
NHL.com?
No.
Quant Hockey?
Yeah, that one.
That's crazy. Scotty Gomez? No? Nothing?
No.
Lori Boschman?
Well, that was all like the defense trap era, right?
Oh, Jacques Lemaire.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
So you got to get to guy. Do not let the guy get by.
You got to bump the puck and then you chase the puck.
Anybody scoring 100 points on my team, they're not a team player. You're out of here. I feel like that's something he would say, big forehead on the old man.
So somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but...
No, you're right. So Hughes had 99 points in 2022-23.
Wasn't Elias?
Prior to that, 96 by Patrick Elias in 2000. And then our boy Zach Parise had 94 in 08-09. How has a team never had a 100-point scorer? That is wild.
No, it's the Devils.
It's like an Ottawa stand.
No, listen, I beat you to it. Just because you said it louder doesn't mean it's funny. Whatever. What is Hischier's? He was first overall, wasn't he? First or second?
First.
Yeah. Wow. Was he a Finn? Is he Finnish or something?
Swedish.
Yeah.
Switzerland.
Switzerland. Yeah. Well, that would be a Swede.
It's right
or
there.
A Swiss. That would be a Swiss.
2017, first overall, first round, first pick.
No kidding. Wow, that was 2017. Oh man, where's this? Where's the time going?
Moving right along then. Is 2017 Young Guns with a PSA 10 pop of 505 and a 41.7% gem rate. This card last sold for $85 on November 28th. Currently, he's up 14% in the last 2 weeks, but was only up a measly 0.5% in the last 3 months.
Super ugly rookie card too. Super ugly.
It's terrible.
Yeah. What is that, like Aqua around the Young Gun? I don't know, man. It's just a bad year for Young Guns.
Acetate looks pretty good though.
Ooh, good call. Good call. Nice plug in there, Louis. Nice plug.
Way to flex.
Your big one. Yeah, I got 12. Such a jerk.
All right, Phil. Yeah,
my pick.
Turn. Who's hot?
Who's hot other than Josh's mom this week? It's brother Quinn Hughes. Super, super hot. Quinn Hughes. I still get incredibly confused. That's Josh crying because I made fun of his mama. But I did make fun of her because she's a beautiful woman. So I still get confused with the Hughes brothers and Quinn and Hughes Quinn. There's no Hughes
Jack
Quinn.
Quinn.
Jack Quinn.
Yeah.
Jack Quinn has nothing to do with the Hughes brothers.
According to you, but not to me. I think he has a lot to do. There's
no, seriously.
No, seriously. I'm explaining it to you, Phil.
Okay.
There's Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes, Jack Quinn. What else do you need to know?
Wait, so
it's very obvious.
So Quinn Hughes is hot this week. This 25-year-old American stud is terrifyingly good, guys. I actually had the privilege of watching him play for a big 5 minutes and 12 seconds 2 Saturdays ago against my Ottawa Senators, my big splat hockey team. Big bad Quinn Hughes hit baby sucky baby Josh Norris from the back, and he got ejected, and everyone was pretty confused, and I can't believe he did, but he did. So it still kind of blows my mind. Yes, I'm a Sens fan, and I know I'm kind of using Norris as my whipping boy, but it blows my mind how we still have in hockey the guy who sees the check coming, and a tactic, a part of his gameplay is to turn around really quick and put himself in a dangerous position. That blows my mind. I mean, I just don't know how that's not being accounted for more, accountability. But I mean, if you look at society, I guess it makes sense. Anyways, so Hughes is the man.
Wait. I have a question.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Okay.
Did you pick Quinn Hughes for Who's Hot just to complain about Josh Norris?
No. No. I actually, when I watched Quinn Hughes play about a month ago, I was like, because a lot of people are like, yeah, he's okay, but he's not like his brother on New Jersey. And listen, Quinn Hughes is an offensive, I don't know, not juggernaut, but sound. He's offensively sound.
Yeah.
And he is incredible. So I don't know where along the way I heard Quinn Hughes is a better defenseman than offense. He's just really, really good at both. And no, I didn't, but that is something I would do. I just didn't do it on this time. And I was disappointed.
Silver lining?
Yeah, silver lining. There we go. Okay. I was disappointed he got kicked out because I really like watching him play. So it was very upsetting. Anyways, so Hughes is the man. Last 5 games, he has 7 points, 2 biscuit bombers and 5 helpers. He's doing all of this with over 25 minutes total ice time per game, including his ejection. So that's not bad.
Wow.
Do you guys think he's a lock for Team America?
Yeah. I think he's the second best defenseman in the NHL. So
okay, so that's a yes. That's good. Do you think he'll get assistant?
I don't think he should. Not too much. Does that matter? Do you think?
No, I think that stuff's overrated. But I am. I mean, what do they say? You want wisdom, right? You want guys. You want good leadership. You want good wisdom up there, and I think that comes with age. You know, you can be the smartest hockey player ever, but if you're 23, doesn't mean you got great leadership skills.
You have put marketing gold in our show notes.
Before
I say this too, I got to say copyright trademark 2024 Hockey Cards Gongshow.
Oh,
Team America puck, yeah, that's amazing. That's a T-shirt, Phil.
I was excited to say it, but you just took it from me.
Well, sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay.
Let's say, Louis, hit the rewind button.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think this would be great for your Team America puck. Yeah, you know, thanks for not taking that from me, guys.
That's awesome.
Anyway,
wait, Phil, I think you can't say that because it's already been copyrighted by the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast. Oh, you're on it. Okay, you're good.
Well, I'm still paying, so I'm not even a host. I'm still paying. I haven't canceled it yet.
I forgot to put that in.
His last sale was $136, November 30th. I'm not sure if that was a PSA. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Was it?
I don't know. That's your job. It's your Who's Hot guy.
I don't have Card Ladder. I'm too busy paying money to this podcast that I don't get Card Ladder from.
Louis gets it free.
I don't know. Figure it out yourself, good listener. His card sold for $136, slabbed or not. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, on that cue, the struggle bus has pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
And looking through the window, and there he is. Yeah, I see him right there, Bobby Louie. Matty Beniers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at just 20 years old, Matty Beniers was good enough to win the Calder Trophy in 2022-23 when he produced 24 goals, added 33 assists for his Seattle Kraken. That would be 57 points. At just 21 years old, Matty Beniers hit the proverbial sophomore slide and regressed to 15 goals and 37 points. At just 22 years old, Matty Beniers' sophomore slide has slid right into his junior season. And in the past 2 weeks, Beniers has just 1 assist in 7 games played, giving him a season total of 4 goals and 7 assists for, that's it. 11 points, 25 games, which is an 82 game pace of 13 goals and 36 points.
Better than Pinto.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, well, we'll get to that. So he's treading slightly worse than last year, which is not great. So, Phil, speaking of Matty Beniers, how's that rookie auto looking that you pulled in as your big hit from your $500 box of Ingrained on Friday night? Your Friday night show.
For the good listener that didn't watch on Friday, I bought a $500 box of Ingrained, And I really like the cards. I just don't think it's $500 worth. And my big hit was Matty Beniers' signed fake hockey stick. Right.
Which said as a rookie, but really can't be a rookie. So yeah, a lot of.
I got the best of everything on that one.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be trending below the Pinto line, Phil.
Absolutely. Pinto line. I'll pay you to take my cards at this point.
If you're old enough to remember the Mendoza line in baseball, that refers to a batting average below 200, named after former shortstop Mario Mendoza. So I'm going to just put this out there, Phil. I think the Pinto line is less than 15 goals a season.
Oh, he's projected to score 4. I wasn't kidding. I wasn't just he's on pace for 4 goals this year.
So anyways, back to Matty B. Not been a great year production-wise for him so far. Remember, too, Beniers is the Kraken's first ever draft pick. He was taken 2nd overall in the 2021 NHL entry draft. Also, just I think on August 20th, he signed a 7-year, $7 million and change contract too. Yikes. So, well, hopefully he finds a way to turn it around and get above that Pinto line, right, Phil? That'd be good. Matty Beniers is a 2022-23 Young Guns PSA 10 pop 1,408 with a 32% gem rate. Last sold for $56 US on a couple days ago. About flat since the beginning of November. So you're called the trophy winner, cruising about $50 for a PSA 10 Young Guns.
Ouch!
Such a hot chase then, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was at a time.
I got an ingrained Matty Beniers auto for $60 if anyone's interested.
Oh God! All right, Louis, you got your pick for the struggle bus.
Struggle bus time. He was about as big as a chase too as yours. Quentin Byfield for the LA Kings. So far, this 22-year-old is sitting at 11 points in 25 games played. He has had 3 goals. Yeah, he's had 3 goals and 8 assists so far this season. I would, like Beniers being a first-round pick, I would expect more from the 2nd overall pick. Right now.
Beniers was the 2nd overall pick as well. He was the Kraken's first lottery pick.
Yes,
is there like a 2nd pick curse or something like that going on?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, sir. Last season, he did total 55 points in 80 games. I have a feeling there's contributing factors, I want to say, to Byfield, though. Yes, people will say, well, he's a professional hockey player. He should be able to overcome these issues. But I think the kid's looking too hard to make the perfect play instead of just playing his game and keeping things really simple. He has been bouncing back and forth between wing and center so far this season. And then, with that entails you get different roles on the power play. So I don't know if that's part of it, but I think he'll come around. Byfield is 2021 Young Guns with a PSA pop of 2,378 and a gem rate of 62.9, call it 63%. Last sale was $43 US on November 29th. He's down 8% in the last 2 weeks and crashing down 44.7% in the last 3 months.
I think the thing with Byfield is that people thought he turned the corner last year. And he got a lot of, probably rightfully so, he got a pass for being deeply affected by COVID, like a lot of these young rookies did. But he was not so great his rookie year, not so great his second year, showed hope last year, and again, it's not so great. So we're...
Which I can see why move him around a little bit too and see if we can make something break. Yeah. But
that draft was amazing, 2020. That was the draft. Yeah. Imagine picking Byfield before Stützle. Ooh. But I would say this: some news has come out this week that if Ottawa, if they picked 2nd, would have picked Byfield as well. He was higher on their draft chart. So I don't know how much.
Why would that come out this week? What was that in the kind?
I don't know. I don't even know where I heard it, but it's been a bad week for me in Ottawa and media, and it's not been.
Yeah, good. Yeah. We caught your show. You were a little
That's
You're a
not
little hot under the collar there, Phil.
That's not that's me. That's a 3 out of 10 for my anger of that situation.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is very upsetting. It's very upsetting.
Okay, well, you get the last pick, and before you go, are you trolling with this? Is that your?
No, I'm not at all.
Okay.
So,
okay. All right.
On the struggle bus this week is Alex, maybe Ovi, maybe Undy, Ovechkin. So on November 27th, Alex Ovechkin got schmuckered in open ice by Utah's Jack McBain, leg to leg. You never want to see that. It's pretty nasty, but it looked like a big accident. Sometimes they're not, but that one did look like it was. Unfortunately, it looks like Ovi's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a fractured left fibula. Yikes, that's not good. So he's been struggling this past week, to say the least. I mean, if you're not playing hockey, you can't really score any goals. So one of the NHL's brass alumni has said, it's an unfortunate injury anytime you lose your captain, anytime you lose a player that is having the year he's having and playing as well as he's playing. He's such a big part of our team, says Coach Spencer Carberry. But okay, he'll be back at some point for us. Now we just need other guys to do more. We're going to need everybody on our team, the coaches included. Everyone can do a little bit more to help us out. So this is really funny because apparently this whole season has been about Ovechkin scoring his title. I didn't know they were interested in winning hockey games. So, I mean, that's pretty cool that their coach came out and said that. Yeah, well, I mean, I thought hockey's a team sport, but anywho. So Alexander Ovechkin is a 2005-2006 young gun, and his PSA 10 has a pop count of 1,287 cards at a gem rate of 34%, and his last card sold for about $5,000 on November 17th. So still a very strong market. No new sales since he got schmuckered. Yeah. So he needs to do better if he wants to break that record.
Okay, for week 7, we have Sam Reinhart, Nico Hischier, and brother Quinn Hughes for Who's Hot, Matty Beniers, who's trending below the Pinto line, Quentin Byfield, who's below the Pinto line as well, and then Phil's trolling Ovi fans yet again, putting Ovechkin on the struggle bus. Got to make a mention for Gongshow partner sponsor Slab Sharks. We're grateful for their support of our show. Current Slab Sharks weekly eBay auction is live. Will end this upcoming Thursday night. 1,600 amazing cards to bid on this week. Every week, Slab Sharks auction is an absolute monster. BB Luby, Phil and I have all looked through the auction. We've studied it. Phil even asked his new girlfriend for her opinion, and we each picked out 2 cards we really like.
Watch your mouth. Watch your
mouth. Highlight for you as potential targets this upcoming Thursday night. Well, I'm going to go first this week with my 2 favorites. And I picked a 2023-24 O-Pee-Chee Platinum Connor Zary. Marquis, is it Zary or Zari? Oh, I just had a crisis of confidence there.
I don't Zari.
Zari, I would think it's Zari.
Zary's whatever it is. You know what I mean.
Scary Zary.
Golden Treasures. Scary Zary. 101. Well, I've heard from some Calgary fans that they like this kid. And I picked it because this is a real deal 101. We've mentioned a bunch on our show here that there's a lot of not very meaningful 101s these days in the junk variety era, but the Golden Treasures from O-Pee-Chee is the special card. So if you're a Connor Zary or Connor Zari fan, you might want to, it's both the same card, but you might be interested in looking at this one this week on Slab Sharks. Next one is a 2014-15 Upper Deck Leon Draisaitl. Young Guns rookie exclusives out of 100. BGS 9.5. Big card from my favorite crabby German hockey player, who I just love. And he's having another great year, too. Yeah, those are my favorites. Louis, what did you pick out this week?
Oh, love this first one. 1998 Upper Deck Choice Jaromir Jagr Star Quest Gold.
Phil calls him Jaeger.
Yeah. Jaeger.
Louis? No.
Yeah, well.
Jaromir Jagr.
No. That's Jägermeister. This is Jagr.
I don't know. Sounds right to me.
For some reason, most of these cards don't cost a whole lot. I didn't look at what this one was, but they're growing on me. All the blue, green, red, and the golds. I need a gold out of from one specific player I collect, but I think this is a banger. Might have to chase this one down. And
yeah, golds do cost a lot, Louis.
Yeah, Louis, that card, I guarantee
golds are more.
That'll go for over $1,000, man. If it's not already. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're big chases.
That's big bucks, buddy. Yeah.
Still,
I don't know what it's at now, but that 100% will go over $1,000. 100%. I would bet a lot on it. Yeah.
Where you're right though is that comparatively the greens and the blues or whatever they are, the reds and the greens are not. There's a huge drop that value wise, but they still look cool.
Yeah, gold Star Quests are the cat's bum.
Ooh, holy macaroni! Yeah, you're right. Currently, it's sitting at $1,300 US. So.
There you go. Yeah. Right now, Yeah, that's.
Phil, can you explain the cat's bum reference? I've heard the bee's knees, the cat's meow. I've never heard the cat's. You into cat butts or what?
No, well, I've never heard of the cat's bum either. It's the cat's vowel consonant. Yeah,
it's the cat's astronaut.
Yeah, the cat's astronaut.
Mm-hmm.
The brass.
Oh, okay.
The brass from the cat.
Okay, all right, I get it.
Anywho,
all right,
you're right there. No scary movie guy.
Second one, 21-22 Upper Deck the Cup Austin Matthews signature renditions auto. I just picked this one because it looks awesome. I love the way this card looks, kind of the artistic drawing and then the ink for the auto. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a pen or a that's a paint to pen, right? I like that.
I think it's a Crayola. I think it's one of those markers those kids use at school, those Crayola markers. That's what it looks like.
Oh, you think so? You're not going to throw in a dig on an Austin Matthews card there, Phil?
We have a lot of
I picked it. Not you.
We have a lot of everybody knows I don't like the Leafs. I don't have to make a comment every time. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Phil, what are your two favorites? Oh, wait.
Is it my turn yet?
No. Yeah, you can.
Looking at people's pictures. If I'm not in them, I don't care. Okay, here we go. So one of my favorite years for the Cup, for all hockey cards, 2018, 2019, Connor Hellebuck. Another Connor. So every time I watch this guy play, I'm enamored. I'm reminded every time how great he is. He's 31. He's a 31-year-old American. He keeps getting better and better. He's rocking a .928 average this year, 928. I'm sure he has some very big player collectors out there. I would think if I was a player collector of Connor Hellebuck and I saw this card for auction, I would go, as the kids say, mega bid. I would mega bid this card 100%. It's got great Canadian vibes. Obviously, it's got the bottom half of the leaf. Their Winnipeg jersey is beautiful. Look at that. I even said hour there, whatever. I like his autograph, and you can tell he was a lot younger in this because his autograph has stayed the same but evolved and been refined. So, unless this was just a crappier auto.
You should get into auto grading.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to grade this card either, right? But I'm a big fan. And it's a 50 out of 50. I like round numbers. 50-51 is the criminally code for insane, I think. So 50-50 is pretty close, kind of cool. So yeah, big fan of this card. And I would think if you're a Winnipeg or a Hellebuck fan, you would be too.
Yeah.
Nice
Next card. Oh, baby. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, good listener, for constantly showing you this. I keep loving these buyback Wayne Gretzky cards. I actually don't even know if this is a buyback because I don't understand. Okay, so what you're looking at is a Campbell Conference 1990 Upper Deck horizontal card out of 500 that Wayne autographed with the black pen. He's wearing his Campbell Conference jersey. It's a horizontal picture with a horizontal layout. Obviously, it's one of the best hockey cards I've ever seen in my life with his autograph on it, and I want it. But if you flip it over, which I didn't ask you to get the picture of, Louis, that's okay. If you punch in the hologram serial number on the Upper Deck website, it doesn't turn up. And those oval hologram serial numbers, I can't find to turn up on the hologram website. What I can find to turn up on the Upper Deck hologram website are the new buybacks they do that have a rectangle hologram, not an oval. So I'll be honest, a big reason I'm not buying these cards, and this is obviously his autograph. I'm not buying these cards because I don't know where to authenticate them. And I would like that in case I do have to resell it, right? My roof, I might break my leg, my roof might leak tomorrow, and I have to sell some cards. Well, I'd like part of my selling feature to be like, hey, go online and look up the legitimacy of this card. I can't seem to do that with certain buybacks from Upper Deck.
Yeah.
So if anybody
somebody
knows,
needs to explain this to us, because I'm feeling frequently lost on this either. And I'm pretty sure once you do have it explained to you, and if you're comfortable, you'll buy all of them in about 13 seconds.
I will start my journey quickly. Yes, I will go on my quest.
My
come
favorite.
on, guys, look at this card. Isn't this some ridiculous?
It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
It's awesome. It is awesome. And it's one of the few times I would say, you know what? Use a black pen, because the black pen looks great. Yeah.
You like though how in like what year is it, 1990, that they made horizontal cards, but they didn't change any of the typography and they just left that vertical?
That's character. It adds character. They didn't know.
It feels like all of Canada is using Slab Sharks to consign their cards now because, well, they make the entire process easy for you. They do it all the work. All you got to do is submit your cards via their website. Do you guys say via or via?
Via. Oh, wait, maybe not, because we have via rail. We have via rail, so it's probably via. Yeah.
Okay, I say via.
Whatever.
Via their website, app, or drop them off at a local rep at a card show. Then Slab Sharks takes it from there. Plus, your cards get included in one of the biggest weekly hockey auctions there is. So for complete consignment information, including payout rates, and to get the process started today, head to slabsharks.com. Hobby news.
Hobby news.
Hobby news. No Ukrainian this week, sorry.
Yeah. Everybody hold your breath.
Oh, Bill.
Well, Louis, we're going to let you kick it off because you added a very interesting tidbit this week to start off Hobby news.
I came across this and thought it was pretty dang neat. It was, I might as well give credit to the NHL and Sportsnet and all those guys that put this out on the X machine. But it focuses on or features ages of NHL stars when Marc-Andre Fleury debuted in the league October 10th of 2023. So they picked a few stars from the league right now, and just wanted to let you know how old they were when Fleury came into the league. Leon Draisaitl, 7 years old. Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid were both 6 years old. Makar, 4. Quinn Hughes, 3. Jack Hughes, 2 years old. Also, Cole Caulfield, 2 years old. Timmy Stu was 1 year old. And now for your not born yet, Slavkovsky, Matvei Michkov, Connor Bedard, and Macklin Celebrini. Not even a wrinkle in the sheets.
Wow. And they did this too in honor of Marc-Andre Fleury's 40th birthday, which just happened not too long ago. So
over Thanksgiving.
He's 40 years old. Wow.
Yeah. Crazy, eh?
That's crazy.
Timmy Tantrums just was pooping in his diaper when Marc-Andre Fleury was playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins there. So.
Yeah. That's a lot of Sens are pooping their diapers these days, so that's good that he isn't.
Okay, moving along. We're going to stick with the Wild. We had a huge trade go down yesterday. Trade alert. Wait.
Your artwork.
Wait, breaking news. On Saturday, in a move that shocked the world. Okay, maybe that's a little bit dramatic. Move that shocked some people. The Columbus Blue Jackets traded away to our Minnesota Wild, Louis Boy. Mm-hmm. Defensive prospect David Urasek. Wait. Okay, Louis, do we like him? Are you excited about this?
Maybe. I don't know. Time will tell. The kid's not playing how he should be playing right now. I think Columbus got the better end of the deal.
Really?
But if we can, well, with the draft picks and all that.
Yeah, they got a lot of draft picks.
I do see potential in the kid, and I think we could use another blue liner for us.
That was another Baba Louie Hobby hot take.
I think if the Wild do start him, it'd probably be paired up with Faber.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think they'll throw him in with Faber right away. I don't know. Be interesting to see. I do think I wouldn't doubt some Columbus fans would still like to have him around because of there is upside to the kid, but I don't know what's not clicking in Columbus right now.
Well, Jurasek is 21 years old, 6'3", big, tall, right-handed shot defenseman. 6'3", that's taller than you, right, Phil?
I'm only 4'9", or 5'9". Sorry, not 4'9". I was watching Rings of Power. I look like a little hobbit, or they're not hobbits. They're called Harbinans. I don't know. They're not good.
Yeah. He was the 6th overall pick in the 2022 NHL entry draft.
Ooh. Ah. Oh my God.
Now, things haven't really worked out for him in Columbus. Some say he hasn't been given the fairest of chances with the already a number of regimes already with the Blue Jackets in his young career. Others might say, well, a couple of coaches now have decided not to play him. While he could end up still as a top pairing D, it's what his skating, Louis, is what I kept reading last night. There's a lot of critics about his skating ability, not so much when he has the puck on the rush, but when more on the defensive side. They say he looks just flat out like awkward doing crossovers, which is strange to hear about an NHL player.
That's why he plays D.
Ooh. Oh, it's just like a defensive back as a wide receiver that can't catch?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So Wild sent Damon Hunt and draft picks to the Blue Jackets, and Columbus sent some picks back to Minnesota. The Wild sent a conditional 2025 first-round pick, I think top 5 protected, 2026 third-round and fourth-round pick, and 2027 second-round pick. So, like you mentioned, Louis, a pretty big draft haul for Columbus. And in 53 career NHL games played, Jurasek has produced 1 goal and 11 assists for 12 points. Yeah. Okay. Well, Phil, we haven't got your opinion. You're a draft expert. You want to break down Jurasek for us Wild homers? Are you excited about this? Do you think we picked up a good one, or?
I think you overpaid, but I kind of wanted Ottawa to pick him up, but I started thinking about it more today, and I think we got way bigger problems. So all yours. Yeah. Okay. I don't know too much about him. I just know he was very talked about. Solid, stable, kind of what we need, maybe kind of what you guys need. Who knows? If you're the real deal this year, I think that was a great trade for you. Even if you overpaid, who cares? It's a good thing.
I think crossovers are, well, it's time for us to move back to Hobby Mount Rushmore. Big day for our Hobby Mount Rushmore series. We tackle one of the biggest teams. No, Phil, not the Senators. The Edmonton Oilers. If I put Danny Heatley on the Senators Mount Rushmore, do you quit the show? Pretty much?
Okay. Gone. Forever and always. And you'll be getting a lawyer from my letters. Or you'll be getting a letter from my lawyer.
Just
like an order of protection from your letters.
Yeah. Okay. Donuts to dollars, you would be. Donuts to dollars, you'd be getting a letter from
dollars to donuts.
No, donuts to dollars.
Dollars to donuts. Okay, for back to the Oilers. For Hobby Mount Rushmore, we are looking for the 4 players with the best combination of individual awards, accomplishments, meaning to the franchise and community, and then, of course, their hobby market. Okay, off the Oilers. This show, guys, if anyone's listening for the first time, first of all, I'm sorry.
What are you apologizing for? Don't apologize.
They think that we are, like, insane.
It's too late to apologize.
You know, after the whole, like, Dit Clapper.
No.
Yeah, this is totally off the rails. Okay. I'm going to repeat myself. For Hobby Mount Rushmore, we're looking at 4 players with the best combination of individual awards and accomplishments, meaning to the franchise and community, and then their hobby market. The Oilers are the last team for us to review in the Pacific Division. These big teams give me a ton of stress, and I do not like them. So I'm just saying that right now. I feel the pressure, boys. I got to get it right. Phil's already laughing at me. Great. This is going to be fantastic. I cannot wait. Well, hopefully I did justice for everyone, even the trolls out there, like Phil from Ottawa, who loves Shane Pinto.
Love Shane Pinto. Still love him.
I'm going to get you, I was thinking of like a Pinto-holic t-shirt. Would people like that?
Pinto-holic? Yeah. California Dave already got me a Team Pinto shirt, but it shrank in the wash, so I don't know if it's appropriate to wear, even as a joke. It's a bit of a halter top right now, but
let's save it for a cottage weekend.
Yeah. Of course, you want to see that, Louis. People pay me big bucks to see that. Okay, so we'll have to work that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, here we go with the Edmonton Oilers. We're going to start off. I thought we'd start the Oilers a little bit different. I want to start with the most controversial pick, Phil. We're going to go with Wayne Gretzky.
That's a tough one.
Very, very controversial. Wayne is, of course, the king of the hockey hobby, the king of hockey, and the king of the Oilers. Hobby Mount Rushmore as well, if such a position were to exist. So where do you start with Wayne Gretzky? That's always the challenge. He spent 9 NHL seasons with the Oilers, a 1 WHA season too. But this is we're doing NHL stats for Hobby Mount Rushmore. In 696 NHL games played in Edmonton, he only scored 583 goals, added 1,086 assists for 1,669 points, which averages to a mere 0.84 goals per game and just 2.4 points per game. In 4 of his 9 NHL seasons in Edmonton, he produced more than 200 points, which is decent. He won 4 Stanley Cups, 7 Art Ross trophies, all with the Oilers, 2 Conn Smythe trophies, and just 8 Hart trophies. Mario Lemieux is the only NHL player to win the Hart Trophy other than Wayne Gretzky while Wayne played for the Oilers. Lemieux won the award during Gretzky's last season in Edmonton, which was 1987-88, where Wayne was horrible, awful, terrible, scoring only 149 points. Wayne was also a 1-time Lady Byng Trophy Award winner in Edmonton, a 3 times NHL Plus Minus Award winner, and then finally a 5-time Ted Lindsay Award winner. And he's also the greatest hockey player of all time. Wayne Gretzky's hobby market is, of course, massive. Year-to-date card ladder sales history shows more than 70,000 Gretzky cards have sold on the secondary markets. That's a lot. That includes 2,000 sales of more than $1,000 US. The highest selling Wayne Gretzky card of all time is this 1979 O-Pee-Chee rookie PSA 10 that sold for just $3.75 million US in March of 2021. Now, here's my question about this. So, 3.75 million March 2021. This card goes up for sale today, Phil. Louis, does it sell for more or less than 3.75 million?
Way less.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why?
Because I think there's more knowledge about grading.
Yeah, like there's a lot of controversy that the 10s are not as nice, that none of the 4 10s are as nice as some of the 9s.
You'd have a hard time. Like, we're not talking about a Steve Yzerman 10. Big difference, right? Like, you could Google Steve Yzerman PSA 10s and you're not going to get the lore out of it. There's lore to this card and the other 3, right? So you do enough digging, you'd probably be like, I don't think I'm going to pay as much as that. And,
Do you think, Louis, more or less?
No, after that, I agree. I didn't think of it that way. I didn't think it was going to go up, but I didn't think it would change much. But then when you bring up the grading stuff and what these 10s look like,
I still think 2 million. I think a couple of $1 million. And I think people would probably fight around that mark. I'm not paying 2.2 million. I'm only paying 2.1.
Do you think PSA would add a third or a PSA 10 to either of the open year tops?
Yeah, they're being strategic. My opinion, tinfoil hat, they're being strategic about it. There's been far too many big players in this grading game since the conception, since the thought of PSA existing. I used to collect silver coins a lot. I still do. And that's where they come from, right? So if you ask the coin community to clean a coin or to not get a reason why their grade is the way it is, do you know there's grader's notes on every coin graded, but there aren't on hockey cards? So why is that the case, right? Because the coin community will kill you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rough crowd, coin community, huh?
Yeah, they're tough. They're a very tight group to crack. Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky in the Edmonton Oilers hobby Mount Rushmore. Anyone want to argue that? Phil, you're Big on the Ovi troll, Chase. You want to troll the hobby and say Wayne Gretzky doesn't deserve to be on Edmonton's Mount Rushmore?
I'm not big on Ovi. I'm big on Ovi getting undie.
Okay.
No, I want him to do it. I'm just being a jerk. I think Oilers is an easy Mount Rushmore. Like, we should steam through this.
Okay. Well, we'll see if you agree. All right. Second, then, that brings us to Connor McDavid. We go from the biggest player and star in all of the hobby to maybe the second biggest star in the history of the hobby as well. Just looking at the hobby, McDavid, can you make the argument he's the number 2 player in the history of the hobby at this point, as far as chase and lore?
Yeah, you probably have to be right, eh? Yeah.
It feels weird, right? Because he hasn't won much, but he hasn't won the cup. But yeah, McDavid is currently in his 10th season playing with the Oilers. He's played 664 games with the team, scored 346 goals, added 664 assists for 1,010 points. What's crazy, again, if you paid attention there, he's played 664 games and he has 664 assists. So it's not a math show, Phil and Louis, but I'm pretty sure that's an average of 1 assist per game.
Yeah, it's great.
4, yeah, 1 assist per game. Now, he currently ranks 6th all-time on the Oilers leaderboard for goals. He's only 17 behind Draisaitl, who's in the 5th spot. Already 2nd all-time in the franchise's assist leaderboard. Still, though, more than 400 apples behind Gretzky. And McDavid's 1,010 points is the 4th most in franchise history, but probably soon to be 2nd. He's only 24 points behind Mark Messier for 3rd place and 33 points behind Jari Kurri for 2nd place. McDavid is a 5-time Art Ross Trophy winner, 1-time Conn Smythe winner last year, 3 Hart trophies, 1 Rocket Richard trophy, 4-time Ted Lindsay Award winner, 5-time NHL first All-Star team selection, 2-time NHL second All-Star team selection. Just no Stanley Cup yet. As I already mentioned, he might be the hobby's 2nd biggest star and therefore has a robust hobby market. More than 45,000 Connor McDavid hockey cards have sold year to date in card letter sales history. 1,568 of those sales were from more than $1,000. The all-time highest selling Connor McDavid card is this 2015 The Cup rookie patch auto out of 99 PSA 10 that sold for $228,000 in June of 2022. Okay, so we still on the board here with Gretzky McDavid?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Number 3, Mark Messier played his first 12 of 25 NHL seasons with the Edmonton Oilers. His career started in 1979 and ended in 2004. That's nutty. He played 851 games with the Oilers, scored 392 goals with the team, 4th most all time, added 642 assists, which is 3rd most all time, and his 1,034 points is 3rd most all time, but again, will likely very soon be passed by Connor McDavid. With the Oilers, Messier won the Conn Smythe in 1984, the Hart Trophy and Ted Lindsay Award in 1990. He was an NHL first All-Star team selection 3 times, 1 time NHL second team All-Star selection, and just a 5-time Stanley Cup champion with the Oilers. Beyond the stats, though, Messier's fiery intensity and physical style play inspired his teammates. While Gretzky was often seen as the team's tactical leader, Messier was the heart and emotional engine of the Oilers. After Gretzky's departure in 1988, Messier took over as captain, leading the Oilers to their 5th Stanley Cup in 1990, proving that the team could still succeed without the Great One. He's regarded as one of the greatest leaders in NHL history. Looking at Messier's hobby market, per card letter sales history, about 8,000 Mark Messier cards have sold on the secondary markets year to date. I always call them the ultimate hobby buddy because almost every Mark Messier card is with somebody else. Right? It's like Messier and Curry, Messier and Gretzky. 90 or more of those sales were for more than $500. And the all-time highest selling Mark Messier card is this 1980 O-Pee-Chee rookie PSA 10 that sold for $25,506. Okay, so we have Gretzky, McDavid, and Messier. You still on board, Phil?
Yeah. I'm pretty standard. Yeah. Do you want to know something cool though? I'm pretty sure this is accurate because I remember I was shocked when do you know Jari Kurri has more points than Mark Messier?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think. Not many people know that. Okay, fine. Never mind.
Wait. I mean.
Well,
wait. No. Sorry. I mean.
Bite me, man. A lot of people didn't know that. That's one of my little hockey trivia things.
It's a contribution.
What?
Really appreciate it.
Put it on the fridge.
You on board, Louis?
Yep.
So far with
so far so good, man.
All right. Now
you still got time to wreck it.
I know. Well, it's the fourth spot that's always the tough one, right? And I think you can make a case for like a decently legitimate case for 4 people here.
Okay.
And I actually asked some people in the hobby some opinions because I don't want to, look like more of an idiot like than I already do, which probably isn't even possible. But so for the fourth and final spot on the Edmonton Oilers hobby Mount Rushmore, I went with Paul Coffey. Paul Coffey owns the Oilers record books at the defensive position. He played his first 7 seasons, or NHL seasons with the Oilers. Another guy who played for a long time, had a 21-year NHL career. In 532 games played in Edmonton, Coffey produced 209 goals, most in franchise history for a defenseman, and more than double Charlie Huddy's 89. 460 assists, most in franchise history for a defenseman, 150 assists more than Kevin Lowe, and 669 points, again, most in franchise history, almost 300 more than Kevin Lowe. He eclipsed 100 points in 3 seasons with the Oilers as a defenseman. Coffey was a 2-time Norris Trophy winner with the team in 1985 and 86, a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, 2-time NHL first All-Star team selection, 3-time NHL second All-Star team selection. Coffey brought a level of offensive production from the blue line that was nearly unheard of. He routinely played like a fourth forward, driving the attack with speed and skill. In the 1985-86 season, he scored 48 goals, breaking Bobby Orr's record for most goals by a defenseman in a single season, a record that still stands. Coffey thrived in the Oilers' run-and-gun, high-tempo offensive system. His ability to transition quickly from defense to offense was a critical element of their strategy, often catching opponents off guard. Coffey thrived in the Oilers' run-and-gun, high-tempo system. That was in the twice. Sorry. It was a stat so nice, I had to say it twice. Over 3,200 Paul Coffey cards have sold on the secondary markets year-to-date per card letter sales history. Of those sales, 15 were for more than 500 US. And the all-time high-selling Paul Coffey card is this 1981 O-Pee-Chee rookie PSA 10 that sold for 8,500 US in December 2021. All right, I'm going to run through the snubs quick, and then we'll discuss if you guys think I got this right or wrong. So the snubs that I picked up, or that I thought of, first is Yari Curry, the aforementioned Yari Curry. Hey, Phil.
Yes.
Do you know that Yari Curry has more points than Mark Messier?
Oh, get out of here.
Somebody told me that. No, seriously. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. So sometimes when you're in the spot, you kind of feel bad leaving someone off, and I do a little bit with Yari Curry. I guess I just felt that Gretzky, Messier, and Coffey had an edge on him from the 80s Oilers dynasty. Frankly, it'll be interesting to see, guys, how many people think he should have made the Oilers hobby Mount Rushmore, maybe over Coffey. I don't know if Messier or not, but Curry has the second most goals and points in Edmonton Oilers history, 5-time Stanley Cup champion, 1-time Lady Byng winner. His scoring ability, defensive reliability, and chemistry with teammates made him an essential part, of course, of the Oilers' success in the 80s and early 90s. A decent hobby market, too. About 2,800 cards have sold year-to-date per card letter sales history. 8 of those were for more than 500 US. So that's snub number 1, Yari Curry. For snub number 2, I had to go with my favorite crabby German hockey player, Leon Draisaitl. Didn't make the hobby Mount Rushmore, unfortunately. I really do love his game, and I think he is a huge factor in the Oilers' relevancy over the past decade or so. Already 5th in the franchise record books for goals scored with 363, and 6th in points with 880. Got some personal hardware with the Oilers, too. He's an Art Ross Trophy winner, Hart Trophy winner, Ted Lindsay Award winner, all for the 2019-20 NHL season, in which he had 43 goals, 67 assists for 110 points. If he had a cup or two, I think there'd be a stronger case for putting him ahead of Paul Coffey or even Yari Curry, but him and Connie McDavid, they got to get that big prize.
Mm-hmm.
Then the last snub that I added is Grant Fuhr. And I studied a lot about him when I was preparing to interview him at the Fall Expo, and I really grew to appreciate him and his contributions to the Oilers throughout that process. Fear might not have the best stats, he doesn't, or have been the most technical goaltender during the Oilers dynasty in the 80s, but he was dependable and seemed to always play his best in the biggest spots. He's the all-time Oilers leader in wins in net, also a 5-time Stanley Cup champion, the Vezina Trophy winner with the team in 1988, and like Yari Curry, a decent hobby market, 3,700 cards sold year-to-date per card letter sales history, 9 sales more than 500 US. A lot of impact, just in my opinion, not as much as the other guys. So Gretzky, McDavid, Messier, and Coffey, and then my snubs were Yari Curry, Draisaitl, Grant Fuhr. I could have gone Glenn Anderson, but I felt like there was a big drop off there. All right, who wants to go first?
I thought you were definitely going to mention Ryan Smith. I thought you might not know, but he's a pretty big deal up here in Canada. I don't know how many, but we call him Captain Canada because he been the captain for a country, I think, for 2 Olympics and like 5 or 6 WIHF. Is that right? WIHF. He was captain for that. So, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you got stats up there, I'm pretty sure he played like almost 1,000 games for the Oilers. Like he's up there, man. I don't know how big his hobby is.
It's not, because when was the last time we talked about a Ryan Smith card?
No, I don't even know his points. Like he's not really he's just a gritty winger, Was he? Yeah, I don't think he was a winger.
Now I know, Louis, when we were starting to think about this, you were pretty hot to trot on Yari Curry. Do you think I made a mistake?
No, I just Curry came to mind right away, and you hadn't had much in the outline yet.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a chance to, really go over it like you did. I don't mind Draisaitl being a snub, but I don't know that him not having a cup doesn't put him up there in a hobby Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it's always where you want to weight each factor, and I felt like they were such a huge dynasty during the Gretzky run in the 80s that to have 2 guys with no cups felt weird to me.
Yeah, you as I've never lived in Edmonton, I've never visited Edmonton, but as a Canadian, you can't not have Paul Coffey on that. You can't. You can't. Enough people collect his cards, and he, as a defenseman, he was the defenseman of the 80s, so he's on there. You can't have Draisaitl on there. I don't think so.
But to Louis' point, though, right?
I'm talking hobby, though. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what I know it factors in a little bit, but if we're doing the hobby Mount Rushmore, I'm checking cards and so that's where I'm going with it.
I thought it's weighted a bit different though, like Josh was saying, maybe, right? You got to try and healthily balance everything.
That's fine.
I think there's an argument to be made each, and to Louis' point, Draisaitl, of course, has a much more robust hobby market than Mark Messier, right?
Yeah.
Partly because he's a current player, and that makes you a little more relevant. He's in the ultra-modern hockey era, so there's a million cards that come out where there's only very few cards that came out for other players. So there's a lot of factors there, and I think that it's smart of you to bring those up, Louis, of course. But yeah, I mean, some people may think he should be on there.
I trust that. Well, and I trust that the way you go through this stuff so meticulously that you looked at that too, and it's still, if you take the weighted of, population of cards out there, that heck, Messier and Coffey, they probably should be there, which is fine.
Okay, so next we're going to head back. Now that we're done with the Pacific Division, we're going to head back to the Eastern Conference and tackle teams in the Metropolitan Division. So there's, I think, 8 teams per division. So in the Metropolitan, we have Hurricanes, Devils, Capitals, Penguins, Rangers, Flyers, Blue Jackets, and Islanders. Which one should we do next?
I want to do Islanders.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll come up with the Isles next.
Very storied franchise. Yeah.
Well, you can make them on Rushmore out of the late 70s, early 80s teams.
Yeah. Let's go hard and fast first. Yeah, it'll be difficult. You're definitely going to get hate mail.
Sure.
Well, for sure.
What's your prediction on the volume of hate mail for the Oilers? You think
Nothing.
Generally, nothing.
No, it would be fine.
Fanatics Collect, got to mention them. They're a Gongshow partner and sponsor. We're thankful for their support. The December premiere auction begins this Thursday. Will run through December 19th. This is the auction where we always see some hockey grails. I'm always excited on the very first Thursday of the month when the auction begins to see what cards are in it. And you can do that with me this Thursday at fanaticscollect.com. We've also been talking a bit now about the buy now marketplace and how Fanatics Collect has been investing into it, like with the Burbank card partnership now adding their singles library to the marketplace. I checked back the other day and there have been some super nice cards added recently. Do yourself a favor and go take a peek. And then lastly, but not leastly, the Fanatics Collect weekly auction is live, ends this upcoming Sunday night. We'll preview our favorite vintage and modern cards on Thursday's show. And then also don't miss my weekly show, Jeremy Lee Sundays, where we cover all the best hockey cards closing in the Fanatics Collect weekly auction live on Sports Cards Live YouTube channel starting at 8:30 Central PM. Okay, so it's time to switch over to Masterclass. Very excited about this. It was such a huge part of our show a couple years ago where we were kind of rolling through and found experts to go deep into specific topics and then kind of died on the vine a little bit. I'm not sure why. Well, it's hard, right? Because you have to have the right topic and most importantly, the right person. And there's just not that many people that are kind of an encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to specific hobby topics. One guy, though, who was mentioned to us, to Troy and I right away, probably by Jeremy, I would guess, Jeremy Lee, was Bobby Burrell. And it's been about 2 years. We've been meaning and trying to get Bobby on the show. And we finally connected in person at the expo last month, made a commitment to each other that, okay, we're going to make this happen. And throughout the process of kind of figuring out what we wanted to do, Bobby suggested a topic that he thought would be appropriate. And it's really the history of hockey through the eyes of O-Pee-Chee. If you're not familiar with Bobby, he has written like the books on vintage hockey cards. Now, I think the books are out of circulation, but you can. He does have an app called Needum, Needum, where he's sharing all of his hockey knowledge, and we'd encourage everyone to check that out. But he is kind of the guy when it comes to the history of the hockey hobby. There's a lot of stuff to get through, of course, when digging through the history of O-Pee-Chee hockey products. And so we decided to break this masterclass up like we've done with others into two parts. We have part one that we'll play for you today. So we are pleased and honored to present part one of our masterclass, The History of Hockey Through the Eyes of O-Pee-Chee with the one and the only Bobby Burrell. Well, we're very excited and honored and a very long time coming. I can't believe it's taken this long to have or be fortunate to have Bobby Burrell join us here on the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast. Yeah, there you go, Bobby Louie, right there. There's Bobby. I think Jeremy Lee probably 2 years ago said, you have to have Bobby on, and we've exchanged information and finally ran into each other at the expo a few weeks ago and made a firm commitment to each other to make this happen, get you on the show. Why I'm also very, very excited, of course, to have you back on is we have this masterclass series where we try to take a real in-depth look at certain aspects of the hobby that we all could benefit from learning more about, but that require really experts. And especially as you get into the history of hockey and more vintage, there just aren't a lot of experts, and you're the guy. So very, very fortunate to have you on today to learn about the history of hockey through the eyes of O-Pee-Chee. So with that said, welcome, Bobby, and glad to have you on the show.
Oh, thanks, Josh and Bobby Louie. I'm really happy to be here. It's really fun to share the information of the history. I think it's really important that we know what we collect or the reasons why or behind the companies that produce these things, going back to the pre-war times.
So when
it's really interesting.
I was just kidding, but when you pitch this topic, the history of hockey through the eyes of O-Pee-Chee, why was this what made the most sense to you versus all the things you could talk about?
Well, I think O-Pee-Chee really is an extension of Topps, and we all know Topps very well. And the Canadian side of things is basically O-Pee-Chee. They're actually one and the same. They did come together at a certain point in time. But I would like to explain O-Pee-Chee before Tops, and then Pee-Chee with Tops.
Oh, great. Yeah, because I think there's a lot of confusion, especially by new collectors, around that topic. Like, why is one O-Pee-Chee? Why is one Tops? Why did they look the same? Why is one more valuable than the other? And so that's why when you proposed this idea, I was very excited about the topic because, like I said, it's an area that there is a lot of confusion around.
True enough. Yeah, it's always been an issue for a lot of people. So maybe through this, we can rectify a lot of that. Okay, Babalu. Yeah, we could rectify a lot of that and look forward to a little bit more knowledge going forward. And maybe even you might see something that interests you in the pre-war era, and you might say, "Hey, I never knew that, and maybe I'd like to collect that."
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Okay, so with that all being said, very, very excited to turn it over to you for the next edition of Masterclass, led by the one, the only Bobby Burrell, the history of hockey through the eyes of O-Pee-Chee. So we're going to turn it over to you, Bobby, and we'll be the students.
Okay, that's wonderful. We're going to do a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we're going to use tens of thousands of words here, and I'm going to narrate through that process right now. Well, before we discuss O-Pee-Chee, I would like to talk about the predecessor of O-Pee-Chee and the reason why O-Pee-Chee is around today. And that is through Charles Ross Somerville, who in 1886 started a gum company and a paper box company. Now, he was a supplier of gum, and he made his own boxes, which actually cut down on his costs. But he also issued a lot of different things to general stores back in the early years. In 1886, we're talking about well before pre-war. We're in another 100 years prior to that. And he used to supply chairs, display cases, vacuum cleaners, you name it. They also would cover the full general store, but their main source of income was definitely through gum and through paper boxes. And they made their own paper boxes because a lot of those gum products had to come through that source. So that's C.R. Somerville. 1886 he started. They're no strangers to cards. In 1902, they issued some cards that says, "Given with Somerville Puzzle Popcorn Bar." Now, here is one of the catalogs from 1902 that has the popcorn bars right there. So very interesting. Wow. Some of these early cards are worth so much money, you wouldn't believe it. And this one is a puzzle card. I think American Tobacco Company did a very similar issue. It's amazing how much they shared back then. And it was Find Prince Loben. Prince Loben, he is actually hidden right around here. And I guess you would, it was a very creative way to entice children, rather than just a picture, that they would have to figure out where this guy is hiding in there.
Like, and where's Waldo? Sort of.
Almost. Yeah, exactly. So that was there. They also issued from 1899 to 1902 was the Boer War. Now, Canada was involved in the Boer War, and what they did on the outside of the wrappers, and they had the different colonels and lieutenants of the Boer War. There was actually quite a few different ones, and that was on the outside of the wrapper. And it says, "Collect, get a full set." So that pursuant of early cards or even wrapper collections was quite predominant for Somerville. So he was pretty sharp to engage with the customer. The exact time of when things were going on and what we should issue. And it was very smart of him. Very, very intelligent gentleman. Here's another one that was in this catalog, early catalog. You can see over here, it's Peps and Gum. And it's funny, it had a little bell. And I think they did this to stop thieves from, when the proprietor is away from the table, you could hear a bell every time you opened up the door. So they would know, hey, listen, they went into the thing. So while I'm away, I can hear that bell. Very intelligent way of doing things. They had so many different products. It's unbelievable. I would show more, but this is about O-Pee-Chee, but I'm just doing the predecessor of that. Now, O-Pee-Chee,
so are you saying that
the
is
first...
really then in the late 1800s, early 1900s, where the whole notion of collecting kind of maybe there's a little bit more disposable income in North America, and the idea to,
Yes,
use as a
right
marketing
here.
tool, is to
Exactly.
collect.
Yeah, it was a very smart way of marketing. So we're talking in Canada back in the 1800s. We look at baseball and how historical they are. Hey, Canada pre-war has over 400 unique sets issued within Canada in pre-war.
Wow.
We're talking about mostly non-sports, but
Sure.
obviously some hockey is in there too. So we're very independent in what we did. So that's that Pepsi gum. So here is the first gumball machine back here in the pet. Oops. Oh, what happened there? Sorry. So this is Somerville Pure Pepsin gum. Pepsin is really more of a licorice type of gum. It was a very popular flavor at the time. But then again, you had pineapple, and it came in little tins and little sticks. And they even went as far, and this is another collectible too, is the boxes. So they had Scottish clans, and I'm Scottish too, which is kind of funny. So you would collect the different outer box cards, and finding these is near impossible. This is Honus Wagner kind of stuff trying to find,
Wow.
Very good. Yes, exactly. So he was very attuned to the sense of the child or the collector, that actually promoted the gum, that promoted the beyond the gum actually into collectibles. So here is in 1896, J.K. and Duncan McDermott, they came in to supervise, or they came in as managers to manage the Somerville gum plant. Now, these are the first two people who actually started. So what had happened, Somerville had sold the gum company to Wrigley's in 1908. And after 1908, they kept the paper box. So Somerville Paper Box Company was kept by J.K. and Duncan McDermott, but they couldn't stop them from selling to Wrigley's, Mr. Somerville. So they maintained the box company, and in 1911, they started the O-Pee-Chee Gum Company. They already had the gum experience, so why not? So they started the O-Pee-Chee Gum Company, but they also separated the Somerville Paper Box Company away from that.
Gotcha. Can you take a second and explain the name O-Pee-Chee? Like, what does it mean? What is it? Where did that come from? I was
right there, right here. So here's O-Pee-Chee right here. Here's their early logo. Actually, O-Pee-Chee means robin in Ojibwe, which is a Native American term for robin, O-Pee-Chee. So that is one of their first logos. It was only kept for probably maybe 8 to 10 years. It was never on any of the hockey products, which came in the 30s, but even still, that's the early. They had so many. You have to understand that O-Pee-Chee was probably the largest gum company across Canada. In the Dominion, it was the largest gum company for sure.
Do you know why they named it O-Pee-Chee? Like, do you know why, like, that name stood out to someone, or was it just a?
No, we don't have that information. That's going back quite a ways, 1911. If we could interview those gentlemen, I think I would like to. Ask. It was in the what was it in the song Hiawatha? So it was a very common sort of term back then. And actually, O-Pee-Chee started as it's peachy. So that's kind of where that kind of came in too as well. So not only was it Ojibwe, it was it's peachy, and that is, if you actually look back into the 20 movies, you can see that was a very common term at the time. So.
We still use that term around here today. People ask how you're doing, and if you're not in such a great mood, they'll just say, "Oh, peachy," and not even have a clue that there is an O-Pee-Chee.
Yeah, and don't we know more through that, Babalu? It's kind of a cool thing that it has stood the test of time. So, okay, so this is the first issue of O-Pee-Chee hockey cards. So, through the eyes of O-Pee-Chee, we're going to talk about hockey cards. So O-Pee-Chee, 1933-34. They come in with the Series A. So it's cards 1 to 48. So it's 48 cards in the set. The key rookie cards, Charlie Conacher, Nell Stewart, Eddie Shore. Great set. Wonderful, beautiful set. The problem is that kids are collecting 48 cards, but they have to get every color. Do you have to get every color? No. But this is the smart part about O-Pee-Chee in their marketing is it's 1 cent for 1 card and 1 piece of gum. So you have O-Pee-Chee putting out 4 different colors. And how many detailed-oriented kids are going to go, hey, I don't have him in blue. I don't have him in orange. I'd like him in green or red. It really pops. So they were very smart to issue a limited number of sets, limited number set, and add those extra differences up. It just increased sales. And that's really what it did from there.
Good move.
Now,
do you know, Bobby, if any of are there any intact packs of this or sticks of gum that have never been opened that you know
of? No and yes. I will get to that in a second, but just to let you know, there is no display boxes found for any O-Pee-Chee pre-war. Nothing has been found to date. There is somebody, I'm not going to say much because I have to watch my tongue, but there is somebody who is known to have a full run. And I just want pictures. I just want pictures. I don't want to buy it because I probably can't afford it. But I just want pictures, because I think that's the heart of collecting is to seeing these pictures. And a lot of people haven't seen maybe the first series hockey gum wrapper. It's kind of cool because I love original artwork. It's of period. It's very Art Deco-ish. It's just a wonderful wrapper. Look at the design and style. Like compared to today, it obviously it doesn't match in a different sense, but this is all artwork. This is all hand drawn. And this is actually pretty early in the we're talking the early 30s here. So
it's super cool.
So the interesting part of this set is this is 33-34 Series B they came out with. Now it's cards number, it's a continuing number, 49 to 72, and only 24 cards. Very interesting. Tiny Thompson, Bun Cook, and Bill Beveridge, a goalie. Again, we have the 4 different colors. The interesting part here is that in the same year, they're issuing 2 series. Why is that? It's very interesting because there's 48 games in the season.
Yep.
You don't have much time to really issue. I'll just tell you in general, like there's every promotion, be it Kellogg's or cereal, gum, it's 3 months. 3 months is the lasting. It usually runs either at the beginning of the year, October, November, December, or January, February, March. And then you have playoffs and usually nothing really runs through there. But that has happened. That stands the test of time from the 30s up, at least. And so they issued a second series. Now, why did they do that? And this has always been the question is like, okay, so Series B is issued in the same year because we check the dates of the players and we say, okay, it is. They're all from 33, but why did they add this extra set in there? And why did they miss these rookie cards is actually really the true question. So I'm going to go delving into an area. See, let me finish up this. Okay, so we have Canadian chewing gum, 1933, 34 Canadian chewing gum. 4 companies come out at the same time with cards, not prior, not after, all at the same time. I think this was a salesman for a printing company who came in and said, hey, listen, competition, they're doing hockey cards. Why don't you guys do it? Now, this wrapper, actually, I owned this wrapper probably about 15 years ago. I sold it for $2,400. It just recently sold on Classic Auction for $13,000 something US. I know, a wrapper. There's no packs. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Anyways, getting back to the cards. So it's 1933. We have another company, Canadian Chewing Gum, and they offer a premium. So if you cut the bottom letters and you spell the name of a team, you can send away to get this mail away hockey game. So it comes in a tube and it has all these players and everything. It folds out. It's probably about 3 feet long, what have you. It's a really sizable game. And the whole promotion is actually based off of it's made. It's not like a wrapper redemption. It's actually a card redemption. So finding these cards, I've seen so many cards that are just listed like this without the bottom on it. So, So the other company that came in was Hamilton Chewing Gum. Hamilton Chewing Gum, we don't know what happened, and we still haven't figured out. They had 21 cards issued, but of 49 numbered cards. What happened through that time period? We don't know. Again, 4 colored. Again, how can there's no way that these companies had the same epiphany at the same year, at the same time, at the same. There's no way. There's no way. And what do they offer? 10 wrappers and 5 cents for a junior league hockey puck. Okay, kids don't have much back then. Of course, they're going to, indulge. It's called puck gum, so I'm sure it was a round piece of gum within there, but that's yet to be proven because we haven't found any unopened packs. And then we have the third company coming in. We have Worldwide Gum. Now, Worldwide Gum is a subset, or we call it Canadian Goody. So they put out a card set. They have 72 cards, quite a large set, actually. If you add O-Pee-Chee's first and second series, you're at 72 cards as well. But what they offered, this was the outer wrapper. The inner wrapper, if you would cut away the numbers that you didn't want and you send away. Here, let me zoom in on this. It'll help you a little bit here. It says pictures of hockey players to send 50 of any Ice King wrappers, and we will mail you a choice of one of the following 6x9. It's not 6x9. I think they're 8x10, but they were close. You get Howie Moran's Hop Day, Hooley Smith, King Clancy, Ariel Joliet. That's how you say it, guys.
Ariel.
And Alan Shields. Alan Shields being the least. So these were 8x10 photos. This is what they have for a premium on the inside of every wrapper. It's kind of amazing. So
wow.
I think O-Pee-Chee came out with the second series because they said, hey, we're just offering gum and cards. All these other companies are offering premiums. Hey, okay, let's do another 24 cards, and we'll do a second series within a year. We'll offer a Hockey Stars picture album and an exclusive O-Pee-Chee hockey game. Or maybe it wasn't ready at that time, but this is exclusively through O-Pee-Chee. They created this game by themselves. They have a copyright and everything. So there was a push out puck here, and you would play the game and read the instructions. Very interesting. Very hard to find this stuff. Very difficult. So I think
it is fascinating, Bobby, how you say that, because I hadn't put that maybe 2 and 2 together yet, where I don't know, you would know, but I don't know exactly. It's like somewhere like in the mid-20s, right? That you have hockey sets, and then hockey kind of disappears. And then, a half a dozen years, all of a sudden there's 4 releases in the first year, all by independent companies and with, somewhat similar offerings. So yeah, it does scream like there was a third party involved there. A printing company is probably a really good guess that kind of went to all these guys and pitched them on this idea.
And then got
there's no way
then to follow up and play catch up.
Yes, exactly. Because they said, if we're just offering cards and gum and these other companies are offering premiums, okay, time to do a series 2. But I should really have started with, hockey cards started in 1910 and all came through cigarettes. 1909, 10, 10, 11, and 12, 13. So we have C55, 50, 56, 55, and then C57. Then we go into the 20s, and most of it is through confections, or mostly chocolate bars, I would say. And that's how we went through the 20s. And then into the 30s is the first time for gum. And O-Pee-Chee is there, Canadian Chewing Gum is there, Hamilton Gum is there, and Worldwide Gum is there. And
so cigarettes, chocolate, and gum. That's what we have to think for.
But then from that point on, it's basically gum. There's other companies that come in with different things along the way, but we're talking about cards here. So basically, it's just cards and O-Pee-Chee, O-Pee-Chee at this point in time. So, anyways, that's my theory of what happened there for the second series. Now we enter into the 1935-36. So Series C. So it continues on with the numbers. So first series, second series. Now we're into C, which is third series, 73 to 96. Only 24 cards. Very interesting. Key rookies, Lynn Patrick, Wilf Feud, amazing goalie, and Art Coulter. You can see the wrapper is very similar to this one. They didn't do much artwork. Like, there's dramatic change if you go back to the first one. That's a beautiful wrapper. And then that's one a little bit less enticing, but it's very similar to the other previous wrapper, but it does say new series on it. And it says now you can get you can still get a game, but the game has actually changed now. Now they designed a new game. This is about 10 inches by 10 inches. So you spin the wheel. You only have the 3 different teams. You have the Maroons, Maple Leafs, and Canadians. Very exclusively Canadian. This is the packs that we have found. They were opened, but at least they were, still sealed, as you can see. So somebody found these in a tin at a garage sale or something like that. That's the information I got from that.
Did you know why there was no 1934 set?
Oh, actually, yeah, that's a great question. Thanks for asking that, Josh. I honestly believe that you have 4 companies coming in at the same time. They're all going, oh my God, that was competition. That's rough. That's rough. And I'm sure they only got a certain share of the marketplace because there's enough cards out there that are about equal. So I think they just said, okay, we're going to take a breather on this and just pass. I honestly believe that the second series kept running. They kept running through the second year.
Gotcha.
I just think it does make some sense, but will it make sense at the end? We really don't know. But I think it was something that they did do. Anyway, so O-Pee-Chee did this game. It's actually a kind of interesting game. If you read through the instructions, you got a spin wheel here that turns with a spin wheel, and then you look at what you get, sub wing or all these different things that are around there. It's a different thing. So everything moves in a different way. It's kind of a cool game if you really look into it, but regardless. So we walk into the next year. We're at 36, 37. We have Series D. So we're at 97. We continue on from the 96. We're in a full run. They had this planned in advance, obviously. So 97 to 132, we have 36 cards, not 24 cards, so 36 cards. And the key rookie, obviously, Turk Broda, one of the best cards I've ever seen. Silaps, Toronto Maple Leaf captain, and Mike Caracas, amazing Chicago goaltender. So I did show that they're an envelope. So we have dated these through the timestamp. So if you kind of go into the timestamp, you can see the dates, just to confirm that issue. So it's 37 of March. So we look at it 36, 37. So it confirms that is. And this will mean something in a few minutes. But anyways, a great advertising wrapper. So if you actually square it down, it's just, this is what you're seeing. You're not seeing all this other stuff because, it's an open wrapper.
Yeah.
But the packs would be very attractive in the sense that they are. So my book in 2015 matched actually the Turk Broda.
Oh, yeah.
As you can very well see. Yes. So
I have a question for you about the wrappers a little bit. How many of those, are these readily collected by people? Are there a lot of them out there? Or are they like super rare where if you ever see one in person, you're like, holy moly?
Yeah, they are rare, but they're not crazy rare. If you're looking for one, and you might have to wait a year to find one. About that. So they do come up and they are available. Certain wrappers are actually a little harder to find. The worldwide gums are harder to find than any other wrapper, but it seems like the O-Pee-Chee and the Hamilton chewing gum do come up quite often enough, not like in 1970 wrappers, but I mean in the 30s, readily enough.
Gotcha.
So that's the 36, and O-Pee-Chee moved on after my book. They moved on to the 37-38. So again, we continue on with the series being E from D to E, and we have 133 to 180, and it's 48 cards this time. Key rookie cards: Toe Blake, big rookie, and Gordy Drillin of Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, here's one interesting part about this is that actually they did 2 different cards. One is purple bordered, and the other one is blue bordered. Now, it's interesting how this one says new series. Now, let me go in a little bit better just to show you and demonstrate, because it's easy for me because I know all this stuff. So it says new series, 1 autograph photo card, big chew of bubble gum. New 1938 series, 1 autograph. So very similar, but a little bit different, obviously. So it's funny how the purple and orange match the purple, and then you have blue and red that match the blue.
Yeah.
So I'm almost thinking 2 series, almost thinking that it might have continued on to 38, 39. I just can't confirm it. And we're at that.
Now, a
So
question about this too, but just quickly about the design of the cards. Do you know who designed them? Did O-Pee-Chee have its own designers, or did they outsource that to their printing partners?
I'm not too sure about that. We haven't found that
Okay.
information. Most of the pictures are pretty standard. They're all black and white. It's how flashy they made the borders, and I think that was the big thing, is that putting that color in the border made that black and white look more like a colored photo. So, and no, we haven't seen any artists. We haven't seen anything like that from that. But, eventually one day we may find out through the historical record, and someone digs up something. Unfortunately, a lot of things get thrown out along the way.
So since Josh brought up the card topic real quick, I got a question for you. I don't know if you're going to go into it with any cards, but starting back to the 33, 34, when there was 4 colors in the set or for the cards, was one color more common than the other? Did it take longer if somebody wanted to collect all 4? I just can't get the red one. I got 2 of every other one. Was
like a short print or something like that?
Sure.
No, that's a really interesting question, and I'm speculating when I do a lot of answers, because we only know limited information. I think happenstance comes into the equation on this one, is that I've been looking for the red Sid Howe for forever, and it just doesn't come up. But it's timing. You have 4 different colors, you have 4 different stars, limited amount of production. It's not like these come up every day. They do. They're out there, but not the ones that you want. So you might think that some are short printed more than others, but I think it's an equal distribution of each. I can't see them doing any more or less than others, unless they're looking to short print some that are completing the full series. And then you only have 3 months here, so they might get frustrated and just leave it. So you don't want to take it to too much of an extreme on that, right? I'm assuming as an owner. I'm just putting my my head in the game at a different place. So let me get.
I just didn't know if they were playing games with our heads back then.
They might have
or not.
Oh yeah. Actually, well, the 20s. Look at all the short prints. Look at how many short prints came up through the 20s. Well, we'll go into that in another show. But the 20s was the short print era. That's where all the Bert Corbeau's, Craig Claycorns, all of those came up. All the short prints. And what they did is they held back one card, so you would purchase more product to try to get that card. So the 30s, we thought it was over, and it pretty much was. We can look into other companies, but we're on the O-Pee-Chee trend right now, so let's just keep going forward. So they changed the game. They kept the game the same, but then they added the player pictures all the way around. So when you hit the spindle, you would hit the player. So you got Charlie Conacher. You have all the different stars around there. I took away the outer border so you could see that on the game. So you can see it only spins around to 1 player each. But the game advanced on, and that was for that year. So 37, 38, we're basically at the traditional end of cards for O-Pee-Chee. We're heading into World War I. Now, understanding that Canada went into the war a little earlier than the U.S., you were in 1942, we were in 1939. So we're at 39.40 here, and this is how they sold the cards. They came in 5x7s. So we had 5x7 cards of each player, made on cardboard, by O-Pee-Chee, 1 to 100. Key rookies, Sid Abel, Frank Brimsick, and Bill Cali, pretty top players. So they were inserted in here. And actually on here, it does state that, if you're the retailer, make sure the kids take the front card. Do not let them go through the cards. Very important that they state that there. Well, it's funny because I have a great story. My grandfather, who, when he passed away, he actually tried out for the Toronto Maple Leafs back in the 40s. And because he was French, I'm half Scottish, half French. Because he was French, Conn Smythe didn't like that he didn't speak good enough English. And he always said, that bloody Conn Smythe. He was. So it's kind of in the family. It's really kind of funny. When I opened his trunk, he had about 20 of these cards. The funniest part is he's a Montreal Canadiens fan, being French, of course. He actually had 20 of these cards, but I think only one was Montreal Canadiens, and then he had doubles of Sid Abel and certain other players. So he actually engaged in had to take the first card. So I knew that at that time because I said there is no way he would get that guy twice. There's no way. So we do know this.
Are these considered hockey cards, or are these more photos if they're 5x7?
We're in the wartime, at the beginning of the war times for Canada. So maybe there is sugar shortages that are instilled. So there is no gum issued with these cards. It's actually just in this box, open concept. So we don't really know if they are cards in the sense of hockey cards, but they are considered hockey cards.
Okay, so the hobby today considers them as cards.
Oh, yes. They're considered cards. But are they collected as cards as other people collect them? Maybe not so much, but they certainly are from O-Pee-Chee. They certainly are cards of the players. So that's $39.40. Now, an interesting part is that in that year, it's very, very interesting. That's Apps got married, and they used most of the cards for the Toronto Maple Leafs in their tuxedos from that wedding. Which is quite funny but unusual. Here, look at Turk Broda in the white. He must have been the best man. So it's interesting how they did that when he was actually so if we're looking on April 23rd, 1938, he was married. The cards are $39.40. Now there might be a little bit more research in there. I think I've already done it. That we completed the era of which each player played in, so we can really say that it is, $39.40. But here it is, 1 year and a bit later that the cards came out, and this marriage happened actually a year and a half prior. So very interesting.
What if they had to pay for those, or if you just let them use the photos?
I was thinking that too.
They probably just let them use the photos, more than likely. I don't even think there was too much of an agreement at that time. We didn't have player contracts or team contracts really at that time. Maybe there was something paid to somebody, but we really don't know that. I know with Topps, as you get into the 50s, you can tell he was by the player, and actually with O-Pee-Chee or even Parker's, it was by the team. So the manager would get everything, where in Topps and baseball they would get the player, or football. So a big difference. So in 1940-41, 5x7s sustained themselves, and they actually came more of a sepia tone. We have found a couple sheets, uncut sheets, which is unbelievable considering, of some of the players. You have Emerlac rookie Milt Schmidt. That's actually quite a desirable card. It does get very good money considering that it is 5x7, but a lot of people do consider these cards as being rookies. Now we do run into Max, and I put in brackets Doug Bentley. Now, Doug Bentley started the year with Chicago, and Max came later. Now, these cards were probably done earlier, and I think they got the wrong picture, and the picture is of Doug Bentley, but they put the name Max Bentley in there. Now, we have this issue with which card, because in 1951, you go to Parker's, you can look at the Doug Bentley, and that's his rookie card. But actually, this is Doug Bentley right here. I don't think Max would even been included in that set at that time, although he started with them, but a little bit later in January. So I truly think that is a Doug Bentley rookie card. And we've had that debate, and this is what the hobby's really all about, is finding the happy medium, what consensus we can kind of come to at that point, right?
Yep.
So,
I got nothing to debate. I got nothing to debate. I know nothing about this.
Well, now you know. So now you're tainted. Any which way. So we go into, we take a big leap because this is basically wartime, and a lot of the players did go to war. He had Turk Broda, but they were in a special group of people who went through the war, and they did play hockey within the war. There was a lot of things going on, so they didn't really see active duty as much as you would think they would have. I think they were treated with a little bit of preference on that time period. So here is something. It has been confirmed that around 1960, Joel Shoren dumped up to 500 cases of 52 tops into the Hudson River. Now, what had happened is get your Manals, exactly. Actually, this was the high series. So actually, the Mantle cards did come to Canada. This was the first arrangement between Tops and O-Pee-Chee in 1952. They said, "Listen, we got so many cards. Hey, do you want to take some?" Yeah, sure. So I'm sure the McDermott said, "Yeah, we'll take some. Sure, why not?" And they started distributing baseball before hockey started in Canada. And they also did it in 52, 53, 54. And by 54, the baseball, they actually had O-Pee-Chee under the Tops license, issued by O-Pee-Chee under the Tops license. So a lot of that was happening prior to 1954.
Yeah.
When Tops comes in, and you have Parkers, they came in 1951. They started issuing cards, all 6 teams, 51, 52, 53, 54. And then Tops comes in. So what happens is with Parkers, George Kennedy, the owner of Parkers, he was paying $5,000 per team to get the license to recreate the cards and what have you. Tops came in behind his back, actually, in 1954 and said, "Hey, listen, we'll give you $15,000 per team." And oh my God, I can't afford that. That's, we're talking about 5 cents, 4 cards. How do you afford that? And what had happened really at that point, George Kennedy, he was in close contact with a lot. This was a handshake deal, and Tops came in with the licensing because they were already used to the dealing with the baseball players and what have you. So they came in and they offered that much. George Kennedy said, "I can't really do 6 teams, but I can do 2 teams." So he took Toronto Maple Leafs and Montreal Canadiens, of course, Canadian teams, which had the majority of the stars actually at that time. So he paid even though he was paying $30,000 before, he's still paying $30,000, but he's only getting the 2 different teams. And Tops took the 4 American teams. Now, the first issue, they had 6 cards plus gum. And there was an insert, there was an extra wrapper so you could send away for something else. Actually talked to the gentleman in O-Pee-Chee back in 98, I think it was. He's the one who drove down to the train station to pick up the cards, the wrappers, and the boxes for this issue. He brought them back to O-Pee-Chee, and they were packaged and only distributed here in Canada. A lot of people say that was the cards issued in Canada, issued in the United States. No, they weren't. But we'll get more into that. But it was only exclusively in Canada at that time. So
just so I understand, the first issue of Tops Hockey was in 1954-55, and it was only distributed in Canada.
Yes, it was exclusive.
Okay.
And that's going forward up to 1968, but we'll talk more about that as we get to that. So cards were never really distributed in the United States in wax pack form until 1968. Well, actually, I'll get into the test issue, but we'll talk. Other than that, that's the only outlier. Going forward, that I'll explain that as I get to it. I'm just trying to walk you through the beginning because there's so much information behind that. So, anyways, so in 1950, we have early dealers. These are the very early dealers of sports cards. The hobby's barely there, but it is there. And this is Sam Rosen. In 1950, he came out as a dealer, supplying sports cards in 1952, somewhere around there. And so he's dealing with Bowman. He's dealing with all the different companies. And he is actually the stepfather of Woody Gelman. Woody Gelman is actually Tops. He's the creative director at Tops. So talk about nepotism here. Yes, exactly. So here is a 1950, what's July 1958. Here I have one of his want lists here. And it says Tops 1958 hockey cards set, 66 cards, price $1.98. How many do you want? These cards are not being sold in the United States or by any other dealer. Have hundreds of sets, but they are going fast. So don't delay and order your set right now. Topps 55 hockey cards set, $60. A set of 60, $1.80. Wow, real buy. Yeah, I think so. So these guys are selling stuff. So what is happening? Woody Gelman is doing the creative artwork behind all the hockey cards because, you know, Topps is doing everything. They have the creative, and then they send it up to O-Pee-Chee, and we produce and print and whatever from here. Back then, so what is happening with Rosen and actually a couple other dealers? There was two others, Bruce Yanko and some other dealer. They were all doing this selling in the United States through sets, and they would have multiple sets. So obviously they're getting it from Woody Gelman, who actually did the artwork, probably printed off a bunch of sets before they sent it up to O-Pee-Chee to be put in packs. So not sold in packs in the States, but sold in sets through these gentlemen here. Those are the early dealers. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So actually getting back to the 54. So this is a Topps. If we look at the box here, this box is actually from Gary Green. This is a real box, 24 count. Topps is known for there being 24 count for their up till 1974. They had 24 count. O-Pee-Chee, 36 count. So here we are. So we have Topps hockey. Although it's Topps, I do say Topps hyphen O-Pee-Chee a lot of times. It's really through the Topps license, but it actually is O-Pee-Chee. It's 36 count. There's 4 cards per pack. So we have 66 cards. The key rookie cards: Glenn Hall, Johnny Busick, Norm Allman. And this was a full box too, as well. Me and my friends, we used to set up the expo in the early 2000s. I had to sell my first book in 2003. So we got a booth and we said, okay, you know, we get into the show early. I sell some of my books, throw some stuff on the table, and we were there. It was kind of nice. So a lot of us would share, the 4 of us were waxback collectors. So we went in on the master auction in 2005, where a lot of the Gary Careen O-Pee-Chee archives came up for sale. And we ended up buying the 61 box, the 71 box. We spent $70,000 US back then on wax. Just for our collections. We split it up evenly between us, and we moved on from there. So anyways, getting back to this, is a 36 O-Pee-Chee, you know, 5 cents, 4 cards, 1 gum, 36 count. That's the O-Pee-Chee count. So we know O-Pee-Chee has the big hand in this. We know they're making the boxes, distributing, but it's still through the Topps licensing, right?
Gotcha.
Now this is a very interesting issue. So we get into the next year. We're at 58, 59. Everybody knows that's Bobby Hull's rookie year. And this is the only box known from this year. Now 59, it says on there. So a lot of people said 59, 60. But if you know that O-Pee-Chee, they issued January 1st of every year, or within that first week of January 1st, they would issue their cards. The difference between O-Pee-Chee and Topps, I'll get into that a little bit later. I'll come back to that. So 59 would be 58, 59. Now, if Parker's issued, they would be 58 because they would come out prior to January 1st.
Gotcha.
They were first out of the gate. Yeah. But the most interesting part of this is we get back, and this is why I showed you the history. It says Somerville Package. Somerville. That's a familiar name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. The predecessor of O-Pee-Chee. So the box company. So they are making the boxes for this issue. So we know it's Canadian. We know it's Canadian 100%. Now, they have this code on all O-Pee-Chee boxes. You can see this code, 55MB4. You know, we have to get Mensa in to figure this out because I've been trying to break it down for years. And I can't figure out, you know, production or what time, date. I don't know. I have no idea what it is. So like I said, I have to get Mensa in to figure that all out. So, but that is an interesting issue for the 58, 59 hockey card set, that it is through Somerville. So confirm it's through O-Pee-Chee, that everything is actually Canadian at that point. We get into this is the only year that the display box was never found, or has yet to be found, is 58, 59. Wow. Now you can see they duplicated the wrapper, but they just made it yellow. And we can confirm this through, this is a CFL offering on the CFL wrappers that we do know the date of, so we can actually match the two up. You know, one of these things is just like the other kind of thing. that's how we work out the whole history behind the difference between CFL and hockey and dates and years and ads. A lot of that comes in. It says made and distributed in Canada by O-Pee-Chee Company Limited under license with Tops. So that's been on all the wrappers there. So it is made and distributed in Canada. We know that, but nothing that says made in the USA at this point. So we're at 59.60, only 2 rookies in the whole set, actually, of 66 cards. We have Murray Belfour and Lou Marconi. I don't even know how to say that. Jeez. Anyway,
well, you're on the right show because we don't know how to say anything.
True enough, right? And this is the first year that they actually put action cards in. Now, you have to understand this point in time of history is you have Parkhurst going against Tops, O-Pee-Chee. This is a battle of the brands here. They're doing a little bit of this. They start doing this. They start doing this. So they're actually the creative juices. That competition is there between the two companies, and they're always trying to better each other every issue. If I went through it that way, it would be great to see. But I'm just trying to instill to you that that's what was going on, and it spurred O-Pee-Chee on to make more creative sets, adding these action cards. That was something that was done in Parkhurst prior to that. So very interesting how things actually led into the future.
Do you have any idea
so here we go.
which set was considered the more premier or premium? Was there a pecking order when it came between Tops and Parkhurst?
Yes. All right. Parkhurst was because of the Toronto Maple Leafs and Montreal Canadiens. You have Richard, you have Mahovlich, you have Beliveau, you can just keep naming them. And then we talk about, okay, so we have Gordie Howe and we have Sawchuk and who else? So you end up with 4 American teams that didn't have a lot of players through the 50s and 60s. Well, early 60s, where O-Pee-Chee has all the key players from the 50s and 60s. So I would say the dominant factor was O-Pee-Chee. However, Parker's coming out a little bit earlier, possibly, might have had the jump on them. I guess it was all pole positioning and where they were trying to get to and what they're trying to do. So getting into 60-61. We have 66 cards again. 1/3 dedicated to the all-time greats. So you only have 44 cards issued of American team. That's a pretty low issue if you really talk about it. And the all-time greats, I did talk to one of the old-timers, and he said, we were all very happy that they honored us as all-time greats because they're a long time forgotten about in 60-61. It wasn't like today where we look back at our stars and say, oh man, I got to meet this guy, I got his autograph. It wasn't that was not a thing back then. So they were very honored to be on there and actually very happy to be represented.
Do you know why all these sets were had 66 cards? Like, was that a printing sort of efficiency, or was there some other reason why they're all 66 card sets?
What's 66 plus 66? 132. Every sheet is 132. So that's the reason why 66, half a sheet, right? Pretty much standard from the 50s up is a 132 card sheet is a full sheet. So that would be 2 sets in a box. So that's why they did 66 cards. Why? Well, we'll get into that a little bit. So Tops did the Stan Mikita is the rookie card here, and what you would do is this red magic paper was inserted. It was actually the first official not an insert but an inserted piece within the set. It's almost like the 3D glasses, those where you had the blue and the red. It's almost that cello type of thing, and what you would do is you would put it over it. There would be a question answered, question asked, which coach from the junior hockey to the NHL as a ice leader. So, and you would put this red piece of paper and then it would tell you the answer. And it would change you can see his hat still there, but you put that red paper over and it changes the picture completely. So it was a very innovative kind of thing. Quite innovative. And they were competing with Parker's too, because Parker's did that on the back of their cards too. Well, not with the red paper, but a little bit something similar and different. So, so that moving on. So what we have is we have Frank Leahy. He is the new owner of O-Pee-Chee at this time. He came in as Leahy started as a sales manager in O-Pee-Chee in 1934 and bought the company from the McDermott estate in 1961 and ran the company until his death in 1980. Now we have King Allison here. He was sort of the bookkeeper, and Don Urquhart. I wanted to talk to him a few times back in the early 2000s, but he was very ill at that time. And this gentleman had so much information about the O-Pee-Chee history. I wish I would have got to talk to him. And over here is a very young Gary Careen, who was the owner from 1980 up till its demise. So
Wow.
this is a great picture of O-Pee-Chee lore. So here we go. So we won this box. Gary Careen had consigned this box and a few other boxes in the master auction in 2004, and we actually ended up winning this box. It was beautiful. So this is the first year, Frank Leahy takes over, and many firsts for this year. The TCG lithoed in Canada is on the back of the cards now, not just TCG made in USA or issued, packs and wrappers made and distributed by in Canada by O-Pee-Chee. This is the very first checklist issued, very first team card, first rookie notation. Actually, this is the only year they really did it. I wish they would have continued on like they did in baseball. They had those little trophies for the rookies. Yeah. So, and what else? And the first coach cards. But this was also the very first insert. They issued 2 stamps per issue. I think there's a set of 30, something like that. But they used the all-time greats as well from the year prior, right? The all-time greats. So they brought them forward. They said, "Hey, we don't have to pay any fees to these gentlemen because they're just happy to be there." So you got Vezina and all the all-time greats are there, and then all the current players too.
Are they legit stamps or is it?
Yeah, it was Cinderella, but legit stamps. Yeah, definitely. Sizable, almost the size of a card in the sense of length. With the tab there.
Got it.
So you just stick it on your card or whatever you want it to do at that point. Okay, so we march into 1962-63.
Hey, Bobby, before you do that, though,
sure.
Sorry, I just have a brief question for you.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a clarifying question, just so I understand, and maybe other people do too. During this time, during the since 1954, when the first Top set comes out, what is the relationship between Topps and O-Pee-Chee at this point? They're separate companies, right? And can you kind of explain, or are they not, or how they work together? Does that make sense?
Well, yes, exactly. And if you look at the way I explained the history of O-Pee-Chee, we're coming from Summerville Gum, and then we're going to the 30s, and not until 1952, actually, I introduced Topps contacting O-Pee-Chee and saying, "Hey, would you take some of this baseball because we got too damn much of it?" And that's when it started. And then they said, "Okay, we're going to jump into the hockey because we see a market there." And that's when Topps came in and said, "Hey, listen, we're good at doing licensing." And George Kennedy is kind of sitting there, just business as usual for him. And then they said, "Hey, we're going to come in and steal it at, $15,000 per team," and which kind of almost knocked them out, but they didn't get everything that they wanted. But you'll soon see what happens after 63, 64.
Gotcha. So Topps is basically comes in and convinces O-Pee-Chee that we're better at licensing, we're better at kind of creating the cards, and just let us do it for you.
Yeah, they were better. Okay, yes, because they had the baseball behind them, they had the football behind them. So they already went through their stuff with Bowman and Fleer and what have you. So they already knew the marketplace, and they understood that the marketplace wasn't being properly acuted through Parker's. So they said, "Hey, this game is wide open." But O-Pee-Chee is an independent company, and they're putting out the cards. Topps is the licensee, is the licensor, and O-Pee-Chee is the licensee. So at this point,
Understand.
however they split the money, I don't know how they split the money. But regardless, all packs in Canada, O-Pee-Chee, Topps owns the license. They're getting their cut. They're doing the creative. Yep. Everything's happening. So you can actually
I was
look
just a little confused here because in the 30s, O-Pee-Chee was producing their own cards, and then they just decided, it's more efficient for Topps to produce the cards, and we'll just license them from Topps starting in the 50s.
I don't think so. I don't think it's just that, it's easier for Topps to come in. It's after, it's post-war. A lot of things are recovering, and finally we're getting back to away from the sugar shortages and the paper drives and what have you like that. Topps just was there. Parker's is already there though. Remember, they're coming in 1951, so they're already doing something. So at this point, I think that 1952 baseball, they started realizing that there is a Canadian market up there. If you understand, we're 10% of your population at any given point in time, whether we go back to the 50s or we talk about nowadays. We have 36 million, you have 360 million, correct? So that's about equal 10%. So at that point in time, we kind of look at what Parker's is doing, and then Topps is coming in saying, hey, there is somewhat of a market here. Why don't we just jump on that? They're looking to get more business, obviously. They're publicly traded companies, so they want to, each quarter means something to them. Whereas O-Pee-Chee, I don't know if they were a company at that time that were public. They were private for a long time, then they went public, then they went back to being private again. I can't give you those timelines right now. I'd have to look that up, but I can't remember everything. Thank God the pictures are here to help me guide me through this. But yeah, so O-Pee-Chee is an independent company for itself. Now they're still producing gum, all the different things, transfers. They're doing a lot of the creative by themselves. But Topps is there as the licensor. Yes.
Yep.
All right. So we go from 61, and this actually, because I'm such a big box guy, I really care about display boxes and wrappers. I love the creative. Now you can look at the 62 box that they actually added an insert, extra hockey bucks. So here's the hockey bucks.
Yeah.
But if you look at the display box and we go back, it's the same box, except they just changed the color. When I first saw this box, the 62 box, I said, I was so disappointed. I was sitting there going, they just changed the color, and they added the front advertising. I just went, oh man, where's the creative go? And you'll see that through the Topps products, that they go back and they borrow stuff. And actually, if you talk about baseball and football, they actually borrow a lot of different things or premiums. The hockey bucks are in baseball. The stamps, all these different things, they're all in baseball and other products. So they came in at different times. Rarely was the same year, but just saying.
Gotcha.
So we have 62-3 O-Pee-Chee. We have 66 cards. Vic Hatfield's your big rookie. That's it. Yeah, I know. So with having the 4 American teams, you don't really have the draw of what Parker's had with Canada, with Toronto Maple Leafs and Montreal Canadiens. But the artwork, look at that beautiful artwork on this wrapper. I think it's gorgeous. It's totally incredible. Look at that. Gas house.
I think the wrapper's prettier than the card design.
Yes.
It is. Yeah. Well, remember, they're just winging it. This is a gum company. Most people are working at minimum wage. This is not a high-end, Google enterprise or anything like that. This is guys just going, hey, what the heck? Let's try it. This isn't Carbon Chung going, we need this, super refractor color or anything like that, or what have you. So a very simple issue, but actually these are very popular. Unfortunately, through this set, I'd like to show you the set. There's, other than Bobby Hull and Glenn Hall, there's really nobody ever. You got so many common players within that set, and I think that was sort of the downfall of the O-Pee-Chee / Topps issue, is that Parkhurst had the main players, the key players of this time period. You look at all the main players that came in for Toronto and Montreal through this time period, it's like lambasted compared to tops with the Rangers and the Boston. It's really just unfortunate at that time. So that moves us on to the 63. Now, here we go. Here's the box. Now, this is why I included the boxes and the wrappers. I know we really collect cards for the most part. I'm actually more into boxes and wrappers because cards kind of, they're there. Come over and see my 63 set. Well, you come over and see my EX set. I got a near mid set. Come and see it. How many people have that box? How many people have that wrapper? And I'm very much of a display person. I really like, have the beautiful leaf room and everything. If it's in the closet, I don't want it. It's got to be on display. And so on this box, it says made in Canada by O-Pee-Chee Company, London, Ontario. It says right there on the box. 36 count box. So we have 66 cards again. And your biggest star rookie, Ed Johnson.
Yep. Okay.
Now, I really like this design. They used unfortunately, that's Gump there. But they had, Gordie Howe. They had this is a 2-tiered card. I thought it was an amazing design. I thought it was very creative by Topps. So 63, 64, you're looking at the last year of Parkhurst. So they're in competition, but they did this split. And then they did the rub off on the back again, question, answer, what have you. The player's a little contorted on here. The artwork is a little off, but it works in a weird way. It's a very American looking set with, the stars and there's no stripes, but even still, very, very nice looking pack. That light baby blue is just a beautiful looking pack box.
So with the stick on these cards separating like a photo, like a player photo, and then an action shot, is this whole set horizontal cards?
Yes, it is. Yes, it's actually one of the very few horizontal sets other than the 66 and 68. Yes.
Got it.
Very few sets ended up like this, but this design is very unique, and I really like the creative on this. I thought it was a very attractive set. Now you can pick up the set for like nickels and dimes. It's comparatively speaking, it's just such a cheap, but it's such a gorgeous set in the sense of the two-tone, the hockey stick, and the player's name. Whoever did this did a great job. I have to give them credit. And I always like the back of the Topps cards opposed to the Parkhurst cards. They really went that extra mile, and as they did with baseball and football too. Nice colors, nice borders. Everything was very well done. I have to give them credit for that. And like I said, so here we have the advertisement on the wrapper. It's, big twin shoes. So they're always advertising something on the wrapper regardless. Now we walk into the tall boys. Now, boys. So here we go. So Parkhurst is out. George Kennedy of Parkhurst says, I make more money in margarine. I don't want to go through the printing process. I don't want to go through all this stuff to get licensed. I'm just out. I'm out. And then Topps has it alone. So from the 66 card set, they go to 110 card sets. This is the first time 2 sheets are issued. Now, they have a row of short prints right across the middle of both, because that's a set and that matches the top set as the bottom set, the first 4 cards across and the first 4 cards. And these are short prints across here. And in 2008, I found the first series sheet, and I revealed it at the Toronto Sports Card Expo. We were known for, because we were a wax pack group, we'd open 57 packs, 54 packs. We would open packs just for the fun of it, before they came really expensive, but they were still expensive even back then. And we would do reveals.
What was the biggest hit you ever got out of an old pack like that?
From the pack I opened, probably a 1950s, what was it? Gordie Howe, 57.
Nice.
Gordie Howe. No, 50, yeah, 57 and 58. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so you get some nice hits, but really, it's a lot of those cards. It's really kind of funny that you asked that. A lot of those cards that we sent in for PSA, they were so nice looking that they came back altered because they were too nice. Somebody had to play with this card, really, because it's just too nice. And how many times do you open a pack of this? Rarely ever seen. Not from this year, but just from back in those other years. So it's kind of interesting how it worked. And Marcel Pelé, he is one of the biggest second series. So now we divide it in two series. So you have the wrapper, which has no 5 cents, and then you have a 5 cent. So they had to issue in two different series. So either they put out the first series for the first month, and then they put a second series out the second month, just to keep kids going. I think it was more about making money with gum packs and keeping kids enticed. You have to understand, when I was a kid growing up, the first pack I opened was 1970, and if you got a checklist card and you already had one, you were pissed off because you had one less card that you weren't getting because you got a bloody checklist.
Yep.
And you would just fling it away because you didn't care. That's why the checklists are so expensive, because they were used, and if they weren't used, they were thrown away because you didn't need it.
Yeah.
If you had a player, you could trade it. You can't trade a checklist when you're a kid back in 70, 71, 72, 73. It just doesn't work. So anyways, they have their box. So it's interesting. The first year, all six teams, everybody, hey, we're finally there. And then they put all the different logos on the front. Very, very cool. Giant size cards. They risked a lot their first year independently, away from Parkhurst, that they did this tall boy issue. And then actually football, the Joe Namath, the tall boys were actually quite popular. Either you loved them or you hated them. It seemed like most people did like them, but they weren't easy to maintain in condition wise because they were so long. But they did go over quite well, regardless. So O-Pee-Chee has the market, or Tops, O-Pee-Chee / whatever. They have the market to themselves going forward. So 566. Now this is an issue. This design with the hockey pucks is so creative. It's so well done. Look at that display box. That is just gorgeous. Look at the packs. Just amazing. They put the pucks in a row across the names. It was just amazing. You had Phil Esposito rookie card, very highly, and again with the scratch off on the back. So making condition sensitive cards for this time period is just incredible, because only so many produced, and somebody scratch it off, because what kid wouldn't, Right. So it makes it very hard for these, to keep their value. And then Gordie Howe with his 600 goals is a great card attributed to him. Phil Esposito, Yvonne Cornway as rookies. Now we move into the big boy. Now here we have.
Never seen this one before.
Yeah, isn't that great, Bubbly, that we can, you never seen the wrapper, you never seen the pack, but you always seen the cards, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to show that, because I have all these on file. So again, all 6 NHL teams, hockey cards, with bubblegum, and they duplicated the team again. If you can look back on to the tall boy, so they're reusing stuff here again. Yeah, you have Bobby or rookie. Again, we do have 2 wrappers. It's one series because we have one sheet. We only have one sheet. This is the first time they actually put a puzzle back on the back. They did use the All-Star cards for the puzzle back. So you could put the puzzle together of Gordie Howe, you could put the puzzle, here, let me zoom in so you can really see. So you got Bobby Orr, who else, and then you have Gordie Howe and the Stanley Cup on the back of some of the cards, and which was a really smart way of doing things. They weren't being overly creative.
Prospect. I was just going to say, it speaks to the prospect Orr was on his first hockey card set to choose to make him one of the puzzle backs.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, they knew from him coming up, he was scoring lots of goals, sort of like Gretzky too. They knew when they were up and coming that these guys were going to be superstars and what have you from there. So, and here we, on the top right, we have no notation. And in here we have hyphen 1967. Very interesting. Very interesting that, that there's, like, it is one sheet, and you can't really divide the sheet up, but they did two different series. So I don't know if it was a regional thing, and we still haven't figured that out. But regardless, there's two wrappers. One box, no difference in the boxes. There's probably been a dozen boxes found. I've owned a few of them over the course of many years, and unfortunately, I sold them for a lot less than they would be going for today. So here's something. We have Card Collector Company. This is Woody Gelman back again. Stepfather being Sam Rosen. So they're issuing this year once again. So 68. So this is December, issued in December, and said for 1968, January 1st, this year. Once again, all 6 teams are included. There'll be over 120 cards for the biggest and best hockey set ever issued. $5.75 a set, 5 cents a single. But if you notice how it says 5 cents a single, so if I want Bobby Orr, is it 5 cents? Yes. If I want a common, 5 cents. Yes. Isn't that amazing? That there was no focus on the rookie card. There was no focus on, in this time period, this is 1967, 68, that there's no focus on how much a card is difference.
You don't happen to have like a DeLorean that goes back in time, do you? Where we could take some nickels and get some Bobby Orr rookies?
No, unfortunately. I wish I did.
Bummer.
So that's Card Collector Company, and they ran into the 70s. So what they're doing is selling cards to the United States in set form, but no wax packs are still being distributed. You can only get them through Card Collector Company and Bruce Yanko and the other guys. That's the only way you could really ever get those sets. So we come into 1967. One of my favorite boxes, and the reason why this is one of my favorite boxes is because they put the names of all the stars on the front. You got Howe, DeShorty, Bauer, Keon, Ullman, Beliveau, Jacquemin, Mahovlich, Shaq, Makita. You have all of them right on the front of the box. NHL, nice starburst. Like, just the creative artwork is just gorgeous. And it's a black box with blue and yellow, orange highlights. It's just phenomenal. Just a wonderful, wonderful box for me. And that's why I enjoy boxes so much. And the wrapper is kind of, simple, but kind of nice. Very difficult to find the wrappers. The boxes aren't so hard to find, but the wrappers are for some reason. I don't know why. So we go into, a full shape, 132 cards. We have Jacques Lemaire as rookie. And I really like the background. Has, it's sort of an artwork of a crowd in the background. I really did enjoy these cards. Very colorful, very kid-friendly. And Derek Sanderson, so they did the pinks, so they did the yellows, they did the reds, and the black background. Oh my God, these backs are just gorgeous. The white and black, just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well done by Topps. I have to give them credit. Or was it O-Pee-Chee? Well, we'll say Topps has the creative, so we'll give it to Topps. You guys win on that one. Now,
hey, Bobby, can I stop you for a minute? I just have going back,
sure.
And maybe I'm jumping your timeline a little bit here. But when we talk about 1966, are we going to talk about the USA Test?
Well, because it's exclusively Topps, I didn't really want to include it. But
okay.
I can include it if you'd like.
No, that's fair. No, that's right.
I think
just
it's fair.
Didn't know if
I will talk about it. I'll talk about it without the visuals. Okay. So in 1966, 67, after the actually, let's go back here. Let's go to here.
Yeah.
So in 1966, the cards come out for Bobby Orr's rookie. Now, on the bottom of the box, this is when the first time codes were started. I was going to tell you a little bit later, but I'll tell you now. On the bottom of each Topps box, exclusively Topps, in 1967, they started to put codes on the bottom so you could read the year. The bottom of the box says 1967 as the year. This would be 66, 67, but Topps says 67. So after this issue, I think Keith Olbermann did an article maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15, about the players they selected, because the set went to half the set, and some of the player selections were kind of almost like a genie selected them, that they knew what was coming and what have you. And you have to understand, these guys knew the company owners, they would know what was going on with the teams. They would be involved with the owners and what have you. Oh, I think we're going to trade Sawchuk. So yeah, just don't. So they would go forward with a lot of that information. So they lessened the set, and then I think they really missed the Bobby Orr. Being Boston and being the next biggest star, I think they really said, "Hey, listen, we need to get something out, and we need to get something soon." And it almost seems like in 67, and I would say after the hockey season, almost into the next year, 67-8, that issue was issued, the test issue.
And now, what was the purpose of the test issue?
To monopolize on Bobby Orr. They missed the boat, so to speak. They're in the process of kind of bringing things to fruition, that separation between we want wax packs in the States and we want wax packs in Canada. It's just, we got to start doing this sometime. We can't just have these card collector companies selling sets. It's about time. So they're in that process of determining that.
Okay. Yep. Sorry. Do we know why there's a difference in the card print? Like the color's a little bit lighter in USA Test. Were those actually printed in the United States then?
Yes, they would be. Yeah.
Okay.
I think most of them were printed in the United States, a lot of them, or at least the sheets were done, and then they would send the metal sheets down to O-Pee-Chee. As we get into later on, then they would add the French, they would take the codes off, they would do a lot of different things. So, but with the 67 test, I think it was, and that was issued in a cello wrapper. First time, cello wrapper, a red colored cello wrapper. I actually, there's only one known. A friend of mine, I got to know him. He actually owned that wrapper, and his brother stole it and sold it somewhere, but I never get a chance to get it. But it issued in a cello wrapper. Very interesting that they would do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, it's just a outside kind of weird thing where they have two wrappers here, and it mocks the tall boy. The box is a little different. It mocks the tall boy box, but yeah, I really should have included it. I guess it would have helped a little bit more because Topps is O-Pee-Chee and O-Pee-Chee is Topps at this point, and I should have included that. So that is my mistake on that, because I think a lot of people would have liked to know a little bit more about Bobby Orr. But then again, so many pictures, so much fun.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, we're back. We decided to stop part one at the split between Topps and O-Pee-Chee starting in 1968. We're gonna have Bobby back on very soon for part two to conclude this edition of Masterclass, again, the history of hockey through the eyes of O-Pee-Chee. So, Phil, now you did miss the interview when you were, because of a girl. Do we need to call her like Yoko Ono at this point, Phil? Is she going to break up the band here? Are we worried about that, Louis?
No, you can call her friend number 2.
Okay. Yeah. Louis calls something else friend number 2. We won't go there. Are you gonna have to have Yoko like in the background when we record, kind of whispering in your ear suggestions?
She's not tearing us up. No, if anyone would tear us up, it'd be number 1. Number 2 definitely isn't. No.
Oh, number 1. We have to learn about her. Okay.
Yeah.
But you did watch a little bit of the interview. Bobby has a lot of information in that head of his, huh?
I legit had a pencil. I don't know why I like pens, but I had a pencil and paper. I watched it this afternoon. I'm not done yet. And there's a lot of information in there. And if you're a big nerd like us about history and origin stories and what have you, I can't wait for to finish it, and I can't wait for part 2. I'm a big Topps guy as well, so I want to hear that just as much as the O-Pee-Chee.
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah.
I really like the pictures. There was one in particular where middle-aged woman had an apron on or some type of clothing on, and she was part of the assembly line, but you saw a guy in the background with a big smoke. It was hilarious. Just the lack of regulation. I mean, what do you need regulation of print for print media? But I mean, I guess you do. Yeah, I love it. I love all the history, man. And it's not that long ago. Yes, it is, but it's not.
To me, the history of not history, but the origin of the O-Pee-Chee name, being an Ojibwe name, and what meaning Robin, right? That's kind of interesting.
Awesome.
It's a kind of a little cool thing that probably not too many people know about, and now a lot more do since hearing that from Bobby. So again, we can't wait to have him back on to finish this. We will bring that back soon. We go from a guy who knows just about everything.
Real quick, that'll give people time to go back and listen to sections, because there's so much information in each of those little sections he does that you're not going to get it on the first go around anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also, before we go to our next segment, I'd also like to bring up this book. This book is amazing. So if you don't know this book, I forget what the author's name is, Richard Scott. Yep. And Jeremy had him on, and this is also all the information you hear from Bobby Burrell is the same as in this book. So if you're a bit of a reader, I highly recommend this. Richard Scott, fantastic book. You can find it on Amazon as well. So if you're a reader, check it out.
It's called what? What is the title of it for people that are listening to the show?
Oh, I'm sorry. The O-Pee-Chee Hockey Card Story. To the good listener, I apologize. Right. And it's there's a revised edition. I have the 90th anniversary edition. And because Richard lives in Ottawa, so it's convenient for me to go get a copy. And
do you have the revised edition or the revised?
I have the revised edition.
Okay. Yeah. I feel you almost let down the good listener. That was a very dramatic moment on our show. But
I know. I apologize. I know that was. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, as I was saying, we're going to go from a guy who knows just about everything about the hockey hobby to a guy who thinks he knows everything about the hockey hobby.
Time to find out what puts the poo on Phil's shoe.
You haven't done a rant in a while, Phil. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, it's not. It's from the heart today. It's from the heart. Now they're all from the hearts. I mean, whatever. I don't think of my brain too often. It's all from the heart.
Do Louis and I need to go pause and get a tissue? Is it going to be emotional?
Tissue for your issue? That's not funny. What movie is that from?
I don't know.
No idea.
Austin Powers when he's getting mad at his dad. Yeah.
Did your girlfriend help you write this too, or no?
She's not my girlfriend. I haven't had a girlfriend in like 4 years. I've only had 2 my whole life. 2 girlfriends my whole life. I just had a baby with one of them. Yeah.
All right. It has been a while, Phil. We just talked about that since you've done a rant. And when the lawyers heard that it was back on our outline, I did get a text message and with some points and, things for us to keep in mind. Again, we have to, this show makes hundreds of dollars a year, Phil. So we got to protect we have to protect ourselves now that, we're a very financially viable company in a, third world country. So, again, we're going to let you go in a second, but we're required by law to play this disclaimer first.
His opinions expressed in this rant are his own thoughts and do not reflect necessarily the opinions of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast. We're not even sure he knows what he's saying as he gets excited and his hands start to wave and then he pretty much blacks out. He's also mean regarding Josh's personal pickups, and finally, he doesn't even know how many provinces there are in the country he lives in.
Okay, Phil, what puts the poo in your shoe?
All right, the poo on my shoe for this month. Every year. No, I didn't clear good. Sorry, a little frog there. Every year on November 11th, Canadians and Americans pause to honor those who served and sacrificed in the name of freedom. But let's be honest, Canadians could take a page out of the American culture playbook when it comes to showing respect for Remembrance and Veterans Day. Not all, just some. While our neighbors to the south go all out in parades and speeches and flag-waving patriotism, we're over here throwing poppies on parking lot pavement floors. And that's even if we remember to put the poppy on. And giving the day an occasional nod on social media. I feel we can do a lot better as a country. Why does this matter so much? Because remembering history isn't just an act of gratitude, it's a safeguard against repeating the mistakes of the past. I am very passionate about this topic. Think about it. Millions of lives were lost in global conflicts around the world that shaped said world that we live in today. Forgetting these lessons isn't just careless. I think it's dangerous. Both Canadians and Americans owe a debt to veterans that can never be repaid. These individuals put everything on the line so we could enjoy freedoms we often take for granted. From the trenches of Vimy Ridge to the beaches of Normandy, the sacrifices made by service members of both of our respective countries are staggering. Despite the gravity of these sacrifices, many of my fellow Canadians seem content with a quiet moment reflection and a poppy. Don't get me wrong. These gestures matter. Absolutely they do. But is that enough? Americans mark Veterans Day with such jam and gusto, it's impossible to miss. We hear you and we see you always. Parades fill the streets, families fly their flags proudly, and schools dedicate entire lessons of the day to the meaning of the day. It's a celebration and a solemn reminder rolled into one. Canadians, we can do better. There's a reason we're told to remember history. Those who don't are sure to repeat it. I am sounding like my grandfather right now, but it's true. Wars just don't happen overnight. They're a result of political missteps, unchecked aggression and ego, and the failure to communicate. I slipped that in there. By remembering the horrors of war, we're reminded of what is at stake when diplomacy fails. That's not a history lesson. It's a call to action. Think about the stories of veterans who lived through the hellish nightmares we can only dream of. These aren't tales of heroism. They're warnings, if you ask me. They remind us of the cost of complacency and the value of vigilance and resiliency. And yet, as time passes, over and over again, fewer people seem to connect with these lessons, and it blows my mind. Some even treat Remembrance Day as just another day off work. That attitude needs to change. Canadians, we can do better. No discussion about Canadian culture and respect for veterans would be complete without mentioning Don Cherry. Yes, the man is very polarizing, but he is also a Canadian legend. 5 years ago, in 2019, Cherry found himself at the center of a firestorm of comments after comments he made about the lack of poppy wearing in Canada. Critics labeled his remarks as divisive, horrible, and potentially violent. But let's take a closer look. Cherry's intent was not to single anyone out. It was to remind all Canadians of the importance of honoring those who sacrificed for us. I will admit his delivery might have been a little too blunt for some people. It's Don Cherry, not Don Draper. I hope you know who that is. His heart was in the right place. As someone who makes the same mistakes, I get 100% how he felt and what he was trying to say. The backlash he received says more about society's hypersensitivity than it does about the message. And that's where I find the big problem lies, and on my shoe, apparently. The people that attacked Don Cherry have been waiting in the dark shadows of Canadian media for years and years, not just in media, just in your own life, with strength and merit becoming incredibly obsolete. It was only a matter of time before this senior citizen's words could be held against him and not the message. I beg of you, everybody listening, watch the infamous video. You won't even notice the crime against humanity. You will not even notice the problem, considering his counterpart was nodding and agreeing. But after the backlash, his counterpart apologized to the country and ceased to be friends with the senior citizen. Shame on you, Don McLean. The weakest people have the loudest voices, and I feel that this needs to change, and I feel it is changing. Think about it. We're quick to dissect every word someone says, but we're very slow to recognize their intentions. Cherry wasn't wrong to call for a greater respect about the poppies. In fact, his comments should have sparked a national conversation about how we're not honoring our veterans properly on Remembrance Day. Instead, they fired him. They flat out fired him and canceled every outlet he had to speak on. If that's not a misplaced sign of priorities, I don't know what is. Before diving into how Canadians can improve, I think it's worth reflecting on the symbol of the poppy. Inspired by John McCrae's famous poem In Flanders Fields, the poppy became a universal emblem of remembrance after World War I. For Canadians, it serves as a reminder of the soldiers who fought and died in the battles far from home. Every year, our Royal Canadian Legion, I'm sure you boys have a similar entity, distributes poppies to raise funds for veterans, ensuring their sacrifices are not forgotten. However, wearing the act of a poppy isn't just about tradition. It's a visible, tangible commitment to remembering. And we've discussed how remembering should be important. It connects us to the past and to one another, symbolizing our gratitude for those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom, death. Yet, like many symbols, the meaning has faded and we have let it in this country. Canada, I think we can do better. So how do we step up? First, I think we can start by taking a cue from my American friends. Let's make Remembrance Day a more visible community-wide event. We should also hold parades. I don't know if that's the right word, parade, but a long group of people to teach students about the sacrifices of our veterans. Second, I think we need to reclaim the poppy as a universal sign of respect and a visible sign of the commitment our prior generations have given to us. It's significant to younger generations, and it's a great starting point for conversations about remembering history, which we have concluded, well, I've concluded and you're listening, is important. Finally, let's remember that honoring veterans isn't about politics. Let's remember honoring veterans is not about personal beliefs. It's about gratitude. Whether you agree with war or not, the individuals who served did so out of duty, not personal gain. That deserves respect, plain and simple. I am the son of immigrants. I was born in this country. I love my country, and I have no relative that fought for this country. And I get choked up regularly. It's important. In the words of Don Cherry, you people, yes, all of you people, including me, have the power to make a difference. Let's honor the past and respect the present and ensure the future knows what Remembrance Day or Veterans Day can truly mean. And who knows, maybe next year Americans will look up to us for their inspiration. Probably not. But that's definitely been the poo on my shoe for the past month. There it is.
Okay. Thank you for that. Yeah, a lot to digest there. And I was going through and thinking a lot about what you said, and I have questions.
Okay.
As an American who doesn't understand Canadian culture, of course, to the degree any of our good friends in Canada might. First thing I'll say is you maybe are romanticizing a little bit how we treat our veterans here in the U.S.
Yeah.
You know, we do, I think, in large respect and honor that. But our Veterans Day is, you know, it's more like 4th of July and Memorial Day. But here in the U.S., more and more they become parties.
Oh.
Then they do sort of days to reflect and remember. I don't know, Lou, if you agree or disagree with that, but you know, it's like the emphasis seems to get lost a little bit in those days, even though maybe it shouldn't have. I was not a big, you know, in the U.S. the Don Cherry situation made the news here, but he wasn't, you know, as much as the cultural fabric of as he was in Canada, of course.
Yeah.
And so, you know, while you were talking, I went back and I read his quote that was, you know, that I think is what got him fired. And yeah, it does seem, I mean, in not a very like direct way, but in an indirect way, you know, he says like, you people that come here, whatever it is, you love our way of life, you love our milk and honey. At least you can pay a couple of bucks for a poppy or something like that. These guys paid for your way of life that you enjoy in Canada. These guys paid the biggest price for that. So was the issue that he seemed to be singling out people that were immigrants in that?
Yeah,
Is that what?
Toronto is a very Indian Arabic hub of immigration.
Well, Toronto's one of the most diverse cities in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, it's diverse, but it's quadrants. Like in Brampton, you have more of one type of culture. In Mississauga, it bleeds into another. I mean, I'm very much generalizing. Don't get mad, but that's so. Yeah, we're a melting pot, but the melting pots seem where I live, anyways, are in divisible areas. Like,
yeah.
So I think that just frustrated Don. It does. Immigration's a beautiful thing when you do it well. And I think he just got very frustrated because he is very Canadian through his, like you said, he's a part of the fabric of this country, and he rubbed a lot of people wrong. So for 20 years, he was upsetting all the Karens, all your very straight, all the people that stop at a stop sign for 3 full seconds, drive the speed limit, the good pedestrian, right? The good citizen. He upsets those people. And those people have become in positions of power in the last 10 years. Boom, he's gone. It was the last straw, right? The straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah. So to me, it's like your perspective, and I don't know who am I to know right or wrong? in any situation. But if you look at it like, well, it comes down to his intention, and you never really know somebody's intention. It's hard to, you can't, no matter what
Yeah.
is said by a person, you can't guarantee what was in their heart as they were saying it. Now, if he was coming at it like more like, hey, just so you know, people that are new here, we're happy to have you. Welcome to Canada. But we do some of these things to remember the sacrifices that were made that created the environment that
That
made you
you're
want to
in.
come
You can come to, yeah.
that you wanted to come to.
Yeah.
Or if his heart was to somehow throw shade at immigrants, then I guess that's probably maybe what people took that as to why
So the
fire.
wrong,
Help me understand why that was such a big deal.
because the
in
wrong,
Canada.
Josh, you just answered it. The right people know. I mean, look what happened with that comedian when he made that joke about Puerto Rico, right? It's the exact same thing. You don't hire a roast comedian who has crass jokes that are jokes. They're jokes. Everyone knew he was joking. So when you had a group of people that tried to portray that comedian as serious, it didn't work. It worked here on Don Cherry. So the majority of people were like, well, he always talks like that. The message is not about the immigrants. It's about the respect for our history and our military. That should have been the focus. But unfortunately, if you need to understand now, the weak people won. They just said, nope, he's racist. He's a racist man, and he said the quiet part out loud, and we need to get rid of him. If you look at the clip, Ron MacLean is agreeing with them, and they were such a great duo. Ron MacLean didn't change his tune until his job was on the line, until his legacy was on the line, right? His reputation. He abandoned Don Cherry like you wouldn't believe. And that changed everything about Ron MacLean. It just did.
Can I ask you one more kind of follow-up question?
I want you to
And
ask
again,
me lots of questions.
I don't know. I have no, this is not me leading the witness. I genuinely don't know this.
No. Ask. Yeah, if you don't know.
Were there things that Cherry had done prior to that
yes,
made people think he might be a little bit, I don't know if racist is the right word, but where this was just seen as another kind of racist comment?
100%. Yep. But he's I don't know how to handle it well when people don't understand context, right? We all have had grandparents that probably shouldn't have said certain things they should have said. Don Cherry has never personally attacked a group of people in a racist. I have, it's just it's very sad how they picked on an old man from a long ago generation, and that was the last thing they got him on. So that wasn't that bad. I'm sure he said 10 things equal to that. It was just, I think the CBC had enough, and the CBC is funded by the government. And in 2016, we had a very liberal government, and 3 years later, it's a slow bleed out. He has a huge podcast. He has a huge Twitter following. The will of the people want to hear him, whether you agree with him or not. He has said many things I disagree with. Many things.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's okay. Anyways,
that's been an issue here in the US is like silencing people that, in a free society and freedom of speech, right? Inherently, you want people to, it's important to hear opinions you don't agree with, because that reinforces that there is freedom of speech, and we can't just be silencing people for not saying something. Again, language should never be hurtful, harmful, or dangerous to any, shouldn't be the attempt of language, but it seems to have creeped over to whoever has sort of the political power or will to silence, dissenting messages that doesn't agree with. Where does Canada fall on Don Cherry now? Like, if you had a national vote on, what do we think of this guy? What's the sentiment today?
I'll tell you exactly. So there's a weird thing going on right now, right? Like, look at this Heatley thing in Ottawa. There's a lot of hockey fans that are 30, 20, like 30, 31 minus and under that. They would probably think, oh, that Don Cherry guy, yeah, I don't want him around. He's bad. He's that racist guy, right? They would never critically think. They would never research. So if you asked anyone 32 plus, I would say it would be over 90%. Bring him back on the radio or bring him back on TV. I truly believe that. But nobody a lot of fair weather fans seem to have stronger opinions than fanatics, and I'm dealing with that in Ottawa. I have a lot of fair weather fans that want Danny Heatley back permanently. And I have a lot of hardcore Sens fans messaging me saying, can you actually believe this is happening right now? So I don't know, to answer your question, Josh. He might not have a chance because it's cool. It's cool not to speak your mind now, right? It's cool to be in an echo chamber. It's cool not to think critically. So I'm sure the pendulum's going to swing back to reality. I hope. You know what I do when I hear things I don't like? I listen, and then I kind of just don't pay attention anymore. I know that's crazy. I just wish other people could do that with Don Cherry. If they don't like him, they don't have to watch him. But unfortunately, they seem to have been the moral authority on what's okay and what's not. And I don't even have the option now, right?
So you just completely kind of transitioned to right what I was going to say here. The problem is people hear information now and they can't come to their own conclusions and think it through on their own. They seem to have to go to an outlet, to a news, to an influencer, to somebody online that they like, and what's their opinion, and follow, I guess, the mainstream.
Yeah.
And
it's easier.
That's where the biggest problem is. I don't think Cherry was saying anything wrong about anybody being in Canada. Come to Canada. Great. Still have your traditions that you used to have, but now that you're here, it's still a piece of respect for the people that were here and fought and did things for you to live the way you are in the country you came to.
Why is that? I don't like, there was a period in time when we had that Freedom Convoy where Canadian flags were viewed as a bad thing. And that there's something so wrong. Look at your silly, I know we're getting political, but we're not. Look at your silly red hats, right? Make America great again. Forget the orange guy. Forget the orange guy. Forget about him. What is wrong with wanting your country to be great? Like, break it down. There's nothing wrong with that sentence. I want my country to be great again. You know? So it's very dangerous when you have people that can't handle conflict, or that's why nice guys scare me. Nice guys are dangerous. They don't know how to handle conflict. I'm a bad dude that does good things. I choose not to do bad things, but I'm capable of it. Are you not capable of protecting your family if someone breaks in? Of course you are. And if you're not, that's okay. But I definitely am. Would a nice guy protect his family? He'd probably want to ask the robber's name so he doesn't, like, you know, call him the wrong thing and upset him. You know, I'm not talking. I'm throwing. So hey, I'm going off on here. I told Josh supposed to bring me back in.
Well, I will. And here's what I appreciate about this conversation is, and it follows, and I've talked to Louis about this just in our own personal ramblings to each other about life here in America, is about 2 years ago now, because of all the issues with media, and I've spent a lifetime in media. I could go for hours about how there's no shared reality anymore, how there's really no news anymore. They're SEC classified as, or FTC classified as, news entertainment, not even news, how everything is very biased. And what I decided to do is, and it's part of why we have a podcast today, and is I leaned into long form content, not edited short clips and sound bites. And a practice that I still follow, that I tried as an experiment a couple years ago, is I go to one liberal source and I hear what the person has to say talking for 2 hours. And then the next time I want information, I go to a conservative source. And I always alternate back and forth, because I think that conversations like these are less, to me, becoming more of a opportunity to assert why I think I'm right, as an opportunity to listen and learn. I don't know enough about Don Cherry to know if he's racist or not. I know a very tertiary amount, just like probably most Americans do. You're right. In a vacuum, his comment seemed a little bit innocuous, but I honestly don't know the history. And so what I appreciate about this conversation, getting back to that, is the opportunity to listen to you and learn. And then hopefully people will chime in the comments and share their perspectives as well. And the only thing I would ask is to do it in a way that's, that helps me and Louis and maybe other Canadians, or you, Phil, learn.
Yeah.
Not to because one perspective is just that one perspective, right? And so,
well, he might have said something in the past that I mean, he could have said something in 1998 where someone listening to our show right now would be like, Phil, you don't know, he really hurt me and blah. So you're absolutely right, Josh. He could have said something that personally hurt somebody else, but you're not going to win with me if it was words. I don't, it's hard to win me over as a father, as a brother, as a son, as a friend to you guys. Words cannot hurt you. They can make you feel crappy, but so I feel crappy all the time. So deal with it.
They do have power though, Phil. Words have power. Like they can change.
Yeah, they have power, but they're not what the world is making it. Like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me physically. You know, and I understand like mental abuse can be worse, physical abuse, the bruises heal. I get it. I do. But then look inward. Challenge yourself to handle the difficult situation better. Whether it's a hockey card you're going for, whether your roof is leaking, your wife's cheating on you, your kid's a jerk. Whatever the situation is, the true measure of a man is how he handles conflict. Yeah. That's why I don't like nice guys.
That's a weird statement to say. I don't like nice guys.
No, I'm not saying it right. Nice people are dangerous. Nice people, because they're nice. They're nice. I'd rather have someone where I know doesn't like me and I know why, and we move on.
That is weird.
Nice will hit on your wife and tell you he did you a favor. Yeah.
Sometimes people are just nice though, right?
Yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to war with them. But sure. I'll like, do you really want to hang out with the nice guy at the barbecue? I'd rather hang around with like the fun guy who makes bad decisions once in a while.
Well, those are funny, and but I think generally I get along more. I mean, I like people that have good hearts.
He's a nice guy. Nice guy. I don't trust nice guys.
That's so weird. I want to study that. How did we go from Dit Clapper to this on this show? Again, I keep coming back to, if this is your first time listening or watching.
Yeah, we're sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry. No, but it is. I'm glad you brought it up. Right? It's a very interesting conversation, and I feel like I don't know enough about Don Cherry to.
Yeah, it's not like
one way or the other.
I live in Canada, in Ottawa, so I grew up in Canada. I've been here over 40 years. I live in a new part of my neighborhood now. Nobody wears a poppy, and I'm not blaming anybody. It's sad. It breaks my heart. I've taken Hasselhoff since I can remember. Every year at the local Legion here, they have the Legion where we have our veterans. They have a big ceremony. They haven't done it in 2 years. Why? I still can't find a reason. Like we're not
COVID, or was that the reason?
No. We're because we have to be culturally sensitive. So like we don't have Christmas lights on our Parliament buildings anymore. What is that? What is that all about? That's insane. Anyways, okay.
I was in London a number of years ago in November, and it was like legitimately. I remember feeling at the time. I went and got a pop. I had no idea what it was, but I felt people looking at me, and I'm like, I'm American. I don't know. Like I felt like I was the only one in the whole country not wearing a poppy. And then you go down to the Tower of London, and you see the fields of poppies there, and it was the most beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And it made me, and so we mentioned this before, like, because it was when we were at the Fall Expo, everyone had or a lot of people had poppies. That I really appreciate the poppy tradition. And then, of course, I have a son who's at the University of Minnesota, who's in the Army, ROTC Officer Training Program, and who will likely be deployed at some point. And so, obviously, honoring service has taken on in the last year plus a whole new meaning for myself and my
young Madigan turning into a man
in my family. And so I can definitely agree with that part there. But yeah, let us know what you guys think, right? I mean, that's the opportunity here, is for everyone to learn, to understand different perspectives. And let's just be, in any sensitive topic maybe that we address on our show, my hope, and I guess ask if I can be so bold, is that we just be civil with each other and, again, treat it as an opportunity to learn. Okay. Now back from that, how do you transition to...
I need to watch some commercials or something.
To, talking about new product releases, who are, of course, are brought to you by our good friends and partners at Mint Inc. 'Tis the season for gift giving. And why not get a friend, maybe family member, or yourself a nice box, 2 or, I don't know, if you're Phil, probably 20 for Mint Ink. Mintink.ca is the spot for Canadians to get all new product releases, buy singles, or even join one of their breaks after dark. Be sure to check out any Cyber Monday deals today, or maybe through the rest of the week and month that they have going on as well. Well, we're in our lull, right? So we're kind of trying to think of topics to chat about. And probably one of the bigger ones in the hobby is sort of the Bedard-a-Palooza hangover that's going on. As the long winter's haze and Bedard, hangover continues to settle in, I got a little curious regarding, well, just how many products are left, before the 2023-24 Bedard rookie year releases are done deal. So I went through the archives and I came up with a list that I think is complete. It's kind of tough because you don't know maybe exactly what Upper Deck has up their sleeve. And there's, of course, I can forget things too. I know, shocking. But it has happened. And here's what I came up with, what we have left. So we know
Fleer Ultra E-Pack again? Oh, sorry, Josh. I just saw the thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right. Well,
sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry, buddy.
Well, let's start with the next Bedard release. Something you should be excited for, Phil. 23-24 Parker's Champions.
I am.
On the 18th of December. That's the only one. That's the only date that we know at this point. Beyond that, there's Clear Cut, Fleer Ultra EX 2000, and I don't know though how that's going to impact Fleer Ultra. Like if they're going to be separate releases this year. I know that, or I've been told that the 2022 Fleer Ultra release is imminent. So I just don't know if they do EX 2000 and Fleer Ultra. I guess we have to ask Upper Deck that. We also have Ultimate Collection, Premier, the Cup, and whatever is going to happen to Stature. We don't know. We've been told that there will be.
What?
Yeah. What? There will be Bedard releases for that. So again, no idea what's gonna happen there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for sure releases left, and then maybe a 7th or an 8th or something that I forgot as well. So I mean, we still got a quarter or so of the releases left.
They're good releases. I like everything coming up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he scored a goal today while we were recording.
Was that 3 now?
Good. 5.
Oh, Bedard Mania.
Bedard Mania, kick it up into
dishonorable.
Yeah. Which one are you most looking forward to? Of what's up?
Parker. Oh, who? As an observer, the Cup.
Mm-hmm.
To rip Parker's Champions. And to watch, and I'm happy for Fleer Ultra X 2000 for my friend Josh. I'm happy for Clear Cut for my friend California Dave. Parker's Champions with my Louie. Premiere for Dave too. He likes Premiere. And Fleer Ultra for you, Josh. Maybe you can pop your cherry for E-Pack.
I bought stuff on E-Pack before. I bought
you have?
On E-Pack.
Oh, I was Troy. He was like, I have like 28 items in my cart, but I just.
Oh, he buys stuff too. Don't.
Okay.
I'm trying to find if there's pre-sale for Fleer Ultra EX 2000 yet.
I don't know, man. I'm really liking all these sets. Like I love Clear Cut. I would never buy a box myself, but I love some of the Clear Cut cards. I really like that product. I think it has a good spot in our hobby.
It's Skybox EX. I think might be I get mixed up because Fleer owned Skybox or Skybox owned Fleer back then.
So can I ask something? So Upper Deck owns all of these, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in Upper Deck at the top, let's say Mr. Upper Deck has 20 people, and then he has Mr. Parker's Champions, Mrs. Clear Cut, Mr. Ultimate Collection. And are they run like little mini companies? Or
no, they just buy the IP. You know what that means? So that's the intellectual property. Yeah. So like that's buying the name,
right,
and the sets and the designs.
So wouldn't it be? But as a consumer, I would prefer thinking that it is a bit weird to me that we buy hockey cards from the same entity always. So wouldn't it be cool that like if they had like, no, Bar Parker's Champions has its own building and its own president and its own design team. And like, that would make me feel like we're in a bit of a more variety. Or
it'd be inefficient from a business perspective.
Well, then lie to me and tell me softly.
Okay, Phil. Parker's has its own building, and
And it's
Tony
on
Jean,
dating
Tony
night.
Jean Parkhurst VII is the president.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's exactly 87 paces from the Skybox building.
They call it
exactly it's the Skybox
Crosby
building.
Walk. They call it
now.
The Crosby
Don't get
Walk.
disappointed, Phil. They do share a cafeteria.
Oh, that's good. That's where I'll meet people. That's where we can make friends. We can set up
Yeah.
our floor hockey for lunchtime. In between. What do you think Billy would be doing in this scenario? The janitor? You think he'd be the janitor or security?
Window washer.
Yeah.
Window washer. Window washer. Billy Celio.
So basically all the old company, but there would be no. I mean, if you think about it, like Upper Deck IP, as far as designs, not a ton of it, right? I mean, a lot of these companies were purchased.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm glad they didn't buy Leaf. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
When I heard they got bought, I was like, who bought that? Oh, yeah, that's who bought it.
Well, I think too that our estimate of like 1,300 to 1,400 unique Bedard rookie year cards is going to be completely thrown out the window at this point too, because there already is that. There's already 1,350, and if we still have at least 6 products, and there's been an average of 50, it's going to be more like 1,700 probably.
And then what did I just do last Friday, right? I showed all 53 rookie cards of Daniel Alfredson. 53, that's it. Half of 100 almost. Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're looking to see the end of Bedardapalooza, it looks like there's 6, maybe 7 or so products left. And
they're getting there.
Getting there.
His stature cards will be pretty amazing, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's mailbag time. And a lot of great questions again this week. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Through the mailbag and the show.
I'm gonna stretch a bit though.
Okay.
We're
gonna start with T. Olson 70 from Discord. He said the standard hobby mindset on PSA 8 cards was they were the same value as raw. After going to the expo, many of dealers were comping PSA 9s as the same as raw. So are we now in the era of PSA 10 or bust? I know, Louis, you did some research and we'll get to that, but I think that the PSA 8 and raw was very much a pandemic hobby market mindset, and that's hasn't quite been the same for a year and a half, probably, or more. I don't know. But Louis, you looked into it, so I'll let you kind of share what you found.
I did. So for Tori, this is speculative stuff, but here's my thought. First, exact value is going to depend on the card's year, rarity, and demand for the card. I know your question's based on Tori's question's based on the expo, and I know what he was looking at, so we'll take it from a more current card perspective. I still think a 9 should be more valuable than a raw card in the same condition because it provides assurance about its quality, and I believe it should get a higher price than a raw card. After that, the 8 to me still seems to fall into the raw category with prices that I've seen. From the few cards I looked up, it seems to be pretty consistent. There's a 60 to 70% decrease in value from a PSA 10 to a 9. And I used Bedard as an example. Sorry to go back on that, and numbers could be changed because this is a day and a half or two old here. But a Bedard Young Gun PSA 10 went for $691 US. Then a 9 fell all the way to 252, where an 8 is 175. Boy,
yeah.
Then you got to look at now is 175 or 252 of legit price that you want to pay raw for the card. So
I think too that this changes if the card for commodity cards versus cards that are pretty rare, right? If it's out of 10 and considered a big time chase card in the hobby, it might be a little bit different. But yeah, for like Young Guns, Future Watch Autos, that's sort of where there's so many cards and they're traded and sold almost every day that I mean, it's probably pretty much is for Young Guns now, PSA 10 or bust. Base, anyways. Instagram, slightly rounded. Do you like what Panini has done with Prism Deca in basketball? A new limited release set with the design of original Prism marking the 10-year anniversary. And do you think Upper Deck should do something similar for O-Pee-Chee Platinum? Phil.
Me? I don't know anything about these questions.
I have no idea either.
Yeah,
Well, so what he kind of explained it there. What Panini did with Prism is they took the original Prism design and they applied it to a current year's set.
Yeah.
As a way to commemorate the 10th year of Panini Prism.
We don't have Panini anymore.
No, but should Hockey Upper Deck do something similar? Should they do 2024-25 O-Pee-Chee Platinum with the 2014 designs to commemorate that?
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's one of my answers later. Yeah. Why'd you have to pick Platinum, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I love that stuff.
It would be interesting. I don't think they should do it a lot, but if it's like a 10th anniversary or 25th anniversary or something like that, I could see that being kind of cool. Discord, JT Hockey. A lot of hype on the show about holotypes lately. Any idea what the most recent living set was or other hockey living sets prior that you like? I don't know if there have been other ones. I'm not saying there hasn't, but not in a while, at least. I think that's part of what makes this cool from my perspective.
I'm not aware of any.
Okay. Louis, you aware of any?
No, sir.
All right. Discord, California Dave. In a recent Instagram post, you shared a Slavkovsky and Suzuki dual shield auto. It appears that the dual shield autos seem to sell for less than the single. Like, if it was just a Slavkovsky shield, would have gone for much more. Have you found this true dual versus single shields, or am I way off? Phil, why don't you go first?
I don't think you're way off. I think I've found from my personal experience, this is true. I generally stay away from dual player cards, and especially shield dual player cards. I always just think they're going to go for less than a single player, just the way it is. You're sharing it. You're sharing it with another player. So, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen them go for bigger bucks than an individual player.
I think there's some rare exceptions, like the first Cup, Gretzky and Lemieux dual game use shields.
That'd be
pretty big card.
It all depends on who they're with. And there's a lot of cards that I've seen a star and the other guy's just kind of like, eh. No, I know they wouldn't do this with a shield card probably, but still.
Yeah, I'm not
one guy card.
I don't speak in absolutes. There's always outliers for sure. And that Gretzky Lemieux would be a big one. But like this Suzuki and Slavkovsky, like, I don't know.
This is kind of a strange card. And first of all, Dave, you just misremembered. It's not an auto. It's just it's from Ultimate Collection 2022-23 Ultimate. We featured it on our Instagram. It's a rookie tandem shield with Slavkovsky and Suzuki. It's out of 2. I find these very fascinating that they're rookie tandem shields. So I get the sentiment is that Slavkovsky is a rookie and they're doing a tandem with another key player on the team. But it is weird that Suzuki was a 2019 rookie. There's a lot of subtext that you have to understand to really get this card. And so these are a little bit weird to me. I do love the LNH shields. So
yeah, that's cool. I do like that. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty
Facebook, Lucas Kaz Schiller. I know this has been touched on briefly before, but I feel like it needs clarification. Last year, I bought and ripped a Series 2 2022-23 box from a licensed Upper Deck LCS with an exclusives Bo Horvat base card that had damage. Among a couple other random cards, most recently I emailed Upper Deck support and received a reply saying they do not replace damaged products after they've been on the market for half of a year. 6 months seems unreasonably short. How are new potential collectors supposed to know about buying products at like Walmart or Target, etc.? Louis, you kind of looked up the Upper Deck's website to get their sort of exact language.
I did.
Okay, you want
me to read it? Yeah.
Want to summarize it quickly?
I'll just blow through it quick. The Upper Deck's replacement policy is to replace a product that they have determined in their sole discretion was damaged through our mechanized process for up to 1 year after its release date with proof of purchase from a licensed Upper Deck dealer. They can only they're only able to help with damaged cards if they are purchased from one of the certified diamond dealers. You need to send it in to them in an email with an image of the front and the back of the card, photo of the receipt, serial number from the white sticker on the box, and all your credentials to their website, and they can set up a case for you.
Okay. So it sounds like it's up to a year. So if you've heard 6 months from somebody, I would definitely reach back. A year seems a lot more reasonable than 6 months to me. You, Phil?
I think Upper Deck can always reassess their customer service and make adjustments accordingly.
Yeah, it is interesting though. It doesn't sound like it includes retail if it's certified diamond dealer only. So that's maybe something to be mindful of. Discord, Mad Dog Nav 78. Do you think Upper Deck the NHL would ever make coaches or GM cards? I know they did in the 70s. Like there are Don Cherry. We talked about Don Cherry, right? And that's probably the only coach card, or the most famous one I know of. Isn't his like rookie like a 1972 or something like that?
Well, no, they have coach cards in tops. Like there's a 71, 72, there's a 74, 75. Don Cherry is in his coaching gear. Selke's there, coach. Phil Watson in my famous 1990 Pro Set Series 2. There's lots of coaches in that. Patty Burns comes to mind. But don't do it. I mean, who wants that?
Yeah.
And there's
if your hit is the coach auto,
no one wants that.
Yeah, you're not going to be happy.
No, they're not bigger than the game, right? It's like the refs, like Kerry Fraser, when he always tried to be bigger than the hockey game. Jerk.
Louis, do you wish there was coach cards or GM cards? You wanted your Bill Guerin card from the Wild?
No, I'm good.
Discord, Ojibwe 86. With the Four Nations face-off tournament approaching, do you think the NHL made a mistake by not including Czechia and then doing a mix of the rest of the world team, adding the best players from other countries that weren't named? The only thing that I heard on this is, and I don't know to what level of excuse maybe this was, but that they got this idea and they very quickly tried to put it together, and they felt like they could only do 4 teams. But I don't know. I don't know how that sits with me. What do you think, Louis? Should it be more than 4 teams?
If they had enough players, the IAHF said when the tournament was announced, all of the participating teams were ranked in the top 6 by the IAHF, and they ranked Canada 1, Finland 2, United States 4, and Sweden 6. Germany was ranked 5th, but didn't have enough NHL players to create a roster.
Germany's better than Sweden? No way.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah, I guess I didn't think of that. Are there enough players? Because it's only NHL players, and it wouldn't be the NHL Four Nations face-off if they added amateur players or professional players from other leagues, I suppose. I would probably rather have it not be just NHL and have more teams. My own personal preference. Discord, KMM. I know it varies by player, etc., but generally, where do we stand these days with the big 3 grading companies? PSA, SGC, BGS in terms of value. If you have a PSA 10, how much less are the equivalent SGC 10 and BGS 9 worth? Yeah, KMM, I think you guys would all agree this is when it comes to value of the card, it's not even an argument. It's PSA.
No brainer.
There's almost no scenario where it's different.
No.
Instagram, Crosby's card donations. If someone offered Phil $5 each for all of his Pinto Young Guns, would he also shave off his mustache? Now, Phil, I want to let you go here, but I would just suggest Crosby maybe coming up with something else, because I'm pretty sure your mustache grows back in like 28 minutes after you shave it, right?
Yeah, no, I can grow it back pretty quick. I'm not selling any Shane Pinto Young Guns until they're $20 each. So we'll see what happens. Might have them forever.
What?
Yeah, what?
Might have them forever?
You don't think his Young Gun will ever be over $20?
No. I think
do.
if somebody offered you $2,000 cash money today for all of your Pintos,
no, of course,
you need to run them.
No.
You should fly wherever that person lives and drop them off. That's
you
how
should talk
good
about
deal
things you know more information about. You would sound less silly.
Louis, make some sense of this.
You can't.
You guys don't listen. Just move on. Axel Foley. Next question. Or sorry, Eric. Whatever. I don't know. I can't see that one.
Instagram, Eric Ellis. When did card companies switch the packs from wax to paper, then paper to what we have now? Thanks, guys. Love the pod. Well, appreciate the nice comments, Eric. Once the gum era ended and trading card companies were owned by companies that didn't produce candy, I think it pretty much went to foil. And the first one I remember is 89 Upper Deck. Do you remember a foil pack before that, Phil or Louis?
Not
No,
before that.
I still don't know what foil and chrome is. I don't understand. When you and Billy talk, I'm like, I don't know, man.
Okay.
I don't know
I
what
think it was
foil.
89.
It's all paper. Isn't it all paper? It's all from a tree.
Not a foil pack. Foil doesn't.
What? So what's
Can you
plastic?
go find? When we're done recording, can you take a walk outside and find a foil tree and send me a picture of that, please?
Well, next question.
Okay. Instagram, Axel Foley, 13PC. He says, probably been asked this before. Apologies if it has, but why does Phil call his son Hasselhoff?
That's easy. I call him Hasselhoff because he's the lifeguard that saved my life, and he's really handsome.
Oh, so cute.
Oh, thanks, guys. But yeah, that's legitimate the reason. It's his nickname. It's always been his nickname, and yeah, he's a good swimmer. He's my life's lifeguard.
There you go. That's beautiful. Instagram, Cards Age. Have you guys ever heard of holotypes? It's a living set. Never heard you talk about them. Phil, you ever heard of holotypes?
No, I've heard of type hollows, though. Never holotypes, type hollows.
Can I explain to everyone, like, why I'm a giant moron?
Do you want me to answer this?
Yeah. No. I actually wanted
I can if you want.
take this on. I'm sure you can. I've completely done been a part of on the show what I call the reverse pump and dump here. I'm collecting the set. I have only like 7. Phil's done it 13 times already. We get
just once.
And now I can't find any because like normally you're supposed to collect the set and then pump it. Right?
Yeah.
No, all I've done is make this almost impossible and really expensive.
Do you have a Bedard yet? I got a Bedard for sale.
Yeah. You bought 2 unintentionally. We all know.
Yeah,
that.
I didn't mean to. If anyone wants a Connor Bedard holotype, I got you. Good price.
So I don't know. Now, Louis, has the holotype bug bit you at all, or are you just?
No, I'm just living the holotype life through you.
Okay. Instagram, Hunter Mirror 77. In ingrained, what are all the 101 stick nameplates worth? Well, Hunter,
$1 million.
$1 million. It depends on a lot of factors what a card's worth. It's typically the player is the biggest factor, though. And the other thing is there's no harder card to comp than a 101. So you kind of either throw a big number out there and hope somebody buys it, or you put it up for auction and you see what it's worth. But very tough question to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, Ashtray McMuffin. What a name.
I love it. I love it.
Best product ever made by Pacific. Okay, Louis, you go first.
Best product ever made by Pacific, hands down, is the Pacific Private Stock Titanium. Game worn stuff is even better.
Okay, now are you gonna agree or disagree with that, Phil?
I disagree, but I love stock titanium. I think it's great. But Pacific Prism 99 2000, oh baby, the holograms, they're phenomenal. If you don't know what that looks like, go look on eBay right now. There's a Patrick Waugh I've been eyeing. I want to buy, but I won't, so you should. And it's a beautiful, beautiful Pacific Prism 99 00s hologram 2000, and it's phenomenal. My notable mention, my runner-up would be the 97 98 Dynagons, but they confuse me greatly because there's golds and silvers and extra inserts, and the numbered cards look like they're from a typewriter. It just confuses me. But aesthetically, they're a beautiful card. 97 98 Dynagons.
I think this was kind of a trick question because there's a lot. So many
there's
cards are awesome.
Yeah, I have at least 4 or 5. Yeah,
I got sucked into the game worn stuff though. I really like those. And then, yeah, Troy tried to do something on Slap Sharks one day and win a card. It was a private stock titanium, and then he got me hooked on those. So,
speaking of IP, who owns the Pacific IP? I wonder.
I don't know. Should we call Billy? Tell Billy to buy it.
Yeah, Billy.
Somebody should.
Billy, buy the IP so we can make cards and talk about them.
Instagram, TCS Food Blog. New PC for you, David Urasek? Question mark. Louis, you had David Urasek, PC or not?
Because of the trade.
No.
Yeah, me neither. Wait and see. I would lean towards Brock Faber because he's one of us. He's a Minnesota boy. Maple Grove.
Drafted in 2020. Brock Faber, late first round, second round. I don't know.
I don't know.
By LA, right? Was it LA?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the Kevin Fiala trade.
Yep.
Instagram, Ronnie Mac 1980. Hope this isn't too much, but here's a 3-part question. What product would you guys want Upper Deck to alter or change, either to suit your collecting or just for the general improvements altogether? What product would you guys want at Upper Deck to bring back? And then finally, what product would you guys want Upper Deck to eliminate? So to me, the alter or change product would be to make Flair Ultra not just an e-pack exclusive, but a physical product. Bring back Stature, I guess, ASAP, you know? And I would pick probably SPX or sorry guys, Upper Deck, they never like when you say synergy for the chopping black, but doesn't mean people don't love it. It's just personally the one that I might if I had to eliminate one. Phil.
I'm always waiting for O-Pee-Chee Platinum to be what I want it to be. I don't even know how I would fix it. I don't even know if it's broken. I just really, really, really like the early O-Pee-Chee Platinum from 2015 to basically 2020. There's not one year they made a mistake. It just all looks amazing. And then it feels very different. The golds don't even feel like gold to me anymore. So I'd like them to maybe take a step back and readjust that set. And what I think, maybe Artifacts and SPX, Ultimate and Premier.
You said pick one, but you picked 4.
Well,
okay, so Ultimate.
Rumor has it Artifacts coming out is pretty. It's big banger, lots of juice. SPX can take a hike. That's just got pedigree from the olden days. And I like Ultimate and I like Premier, but pick one. We don't need 2 Diet Colas of the cup. 1 Diet Cola.
Oh boy.
Louis, your turn.
I didn't really have anything for alter. I didn't know what really to change, but bring back Flair Ultra. And I want.
Well, Flair Ultra is on e-pack. It is a set.
Doesn't count. I want to go to the store and buy a box.
Wow. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Shots fired.
Bill was very offended as an e-pack god. He was very offended by that.
No, he wasn't. Don't hurt it. Remember?
I'm calling Ben. I'm telling him, Ben Barry's coming after you. Say Ben Barry 3 times in the mirror. He'll come after you and throw an e-pack at you.
I want a box of Flair Ultra.
Okay.
I left the S word out of there because I feel like I was beating that like a dead horse too much. So my elimination would be just get rid of Black Diamond.
Fleer Ultras? Oh, Fleer's Ultra.
Huh?
You said don't say the S?
Stature.
Oh,
well, you said it. That didn't work out well for you. Anyway.
Instagram, Kevin B. Smith. Did any of you spend crazy on any Black Friday deals? I think we all kind of did, Kevin. Not really hockey card. Believe it or not. Probably not.
Bunch of dorks.
We're like really interested in making this show better, and we're very interested in the production and visuals. So we all kind of went ham on buying some stuff for like cameras and desks and lights and stuff like that. I don't know. What did anything specific you guys want to mention?
No, I can't.
No, all the same stuff. Lights, cameras, actions. Oh my.
Lights, cameras, actions.
Oh my.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
I did tick off some of the family items though, so that was good.
Oh nice. Good for you.
Did you guys spend any time with your families at least over Thanksgiving?
We were together.
Yeah. No, you didn't, Josh?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Well,
I spent all Thanksgiving in the emergency room with my son. I sent you
that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Stiff neck from really bad stiff neck. So I got all drugged up. Okay. Instagram, Card Professor 7. The Marvel card community had previously posted some information on how you can search ePack for the inventory of cards that are available but are in packs which have not yet been opened. One of the content providers was going to post a YouTube video on how to do this, but has gone silent. Maybe it was taken out. I don't know. If accurate, would this be this would be a very powerful tool for all to use and not just a select few. I agree. Do you think that there's a way to find out like what cards haven't been pulled in e-pack already, Phil?
Of course, yeah. It's called bribery. Fly out to ComC and chat someone up. Find out what they like. Yeah.
Phil's the e-pack god. So
dance puppets, dance.
I have no idea, Professor, but I would love to find that out too. So make sure you let us know if and when you get to the bottom of that.
Mm-hmm.
Louis, you're an e-pack, so you might want to set a reminder or notification.
I already did.
Facebook, Salvatore, Michael. If someone wanted to grab an Ovi or Crosby rookie card, but a Young Guns is out of the budget, what do you think is the next best RC to pick up? I put two options. I like the Fleer Ultra rookies. We've been talking about Fleer Ultra the last few minutes. I only looked up Ovi but he's a little bit more typically spendy than Crosby. You can get PSA 10 about $700. The other rookie card I kind of like from them is the Black Diamond Quad Rookie Gems. It's about $2,000 for an OV PSA 10. At Crosby, again, would be a little bit less expensive. You guys come up with any other options that you would look into for either of those two, Phil?
Oh, yeah. Diary of a Phenom. Check it out. You can buy it for a couple of bucks. It's a rookie card of Crosby, and it's awesome. Very brown. Very brown.
Okay. What about you, Louis?
Upper Deck Power Play rookies. Fleer Ultra and the Parkhurst rookies.
Okay.
Oh, you like the Parkhurst rookies? Oh, yeah.
Last question from Facebook, Kyle Akaria. This one I found very funny. I don't think it was very intentional, but I'll explain in a minute. Love you, Kyle. Thank you for asking the question. He says, do you guys think there will be a market crash in the near future with all the hype around unproven young players forcing hobby box prices to skyrocket? And with distributors gouging stores and hobbyists. So he kind of goes doom and gloom, and then it's like, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
It's kind of like me, actually. That's good.
Well, is he now? Would you like him? He sounds like a nice guy. So you probably would. I like Kyle because I like nice people.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe the hobby will survive if Bedard doesn't pan out because whether he does or not, there's always going to be a shiny new toy just around the corner. And there's going to be some prospect, whether it's Gavin McKenna or Michael Misa or some other kid that we'll all be smitten kittens over and we'll forget about Bedard, just like the other hundreds of failed prospects that we've all forgotten about now as well. What do you guys think? What do you think, Louis?
There'll always be hype. There's always something new coming down the pipe.
What about you, Phil?
I don't think it's all doom and gloom. Merry Christmas as well. Big fan of Christmas. I'm a huge Christmas guy. Been listening to Christmas carols all weekend, actually. I don't think there's a market crash or a hobby crash, but I do think there will be a junk variety crash. I think a lot of the sets will tighten up. And I think card companies will have to be more R&D centric to develop better inserts or different inserts, different parallels, and less of them. For example, Allure, my set of the year, I think that product could be the cat's bum with a lot of less inserts or parallels.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think a junk variety is crashing. That's what I think is going to crash.
Thank you, everybody, for your mailbag questions. Can't wait to answer more next week.
It's Personal Pickups, where Phil takes a giant dookie on Josh's new cards. Then Josh cries himself to sleep later that night.
So true. Oh, I was almost again. Jeez. Phil.
Nothing.
What are your
I'd like to take this opportunity to say why I'm not. I have bought very heavily in the last 3-4 months, and at the expo, I'm going out of my way not to check many eBay listings right now, not to go on Facebook too much. I'm taking a nice little scrub break, probably till after Christmas, and then full steam ahead in January. So, yeah,
good for you.
Thanks, buddy.
Louis, you got some pickups this show to share?
Oh, I do. I got actually 4 Nico Hischier cards to share. First one is this.
Fleer!
They're all 2021-22 Fleer Ultra cards. The first one's a speckled rainbow foil. Second one I picked up is a green foil out of 25. Third is a rainbow foil. And the red
Oh.
foil out of 91.
Somebody went
Glad.
ComC shopping.
I did. Buy 3, get 1 free.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Or buy 4, get the 5th free. I don't remember. There's some more that I didn't put in here.
Where is that deal presented?
No, I
On
haven't heard
eBay
that.
in red letters. On you got to
Oh,
look.
well, I'm not going on eBay right now.
Well, your
Oh,
fault.
yeah. Yeah, you stick to EPAC, Phil. EPACer.
You be quiet.
Okay.
I'm not going on EPAC either. I'm taking a break.
I would ComC shopping too. I bought 3 cards in the last couple of days. The first one is a 2023-24 Upper Deck Dustin Wolf Star Rookies exclusives out of 100. It's an EPAC achievement. I've been following his progress a little bit. Progress, as you like to call it in Canada. Progress. I don't know. He's actually being mentioned as a potential Calder candidate. It seems like Calgary Flames folks are pretty excited about his prospects. As a tendy, he's an American. He's undersized. He can jump high. So I like that. So I thought I wanted to have at least one cool Dustin Wolf card, and this is the one that I picked up.
Do you have any other Star Rookie exclusives, Josh?
One.
Yeah, Louis gave me one. He gave me a Kaprizov one at the expo, and I loved it.
I
It's
gave
kind.
that to you.
I
not Louis.
know. I know. I love it, Phil. Yeah, they'll sit right next to each other, and Kaprizov will score on him.
You gonna have it in your top loader binder?
I do. That's how I remembered our
okay.
last show.
Thank you.
The next one I got is a Flair Ultra 2021-22 Nathan McKinnon Ultra Team. Love these inserts. I want to get. This is another set I'd love to collect, and I shouldn't be talking about. Very intricate foiling on these cards. Again, almost like holotypes. They're very tough odds. 1 in 500 packs and 25 players on the checklist. So it's 1 in 12,500 packs to find a specific player. Have you guys ever seen these in person?
Yeah, I did a whole Loud Collector video on them like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, no one watched it. It's okay. Well, apparently you did.
Aw. Oh.
Oh.
No.
Listen. Listen, the Dustin Wolf thing is kind of cool too, because Calgary's got the Kiprasov. They're like, oh my God, are we gonna get a second one? Yeah, good for them.
And then my last pickup is another Flair Ultra 2021-22 Jack Hughes Ruby Red medallions out of 50. It's raw. I don't have any of this parallel yet, Ruby Red, and I thought from a color match kind of vibe that this one would be really cool. So I had to pick it up.
It's nice. Ruby.
Those are my pickups. All right, guys. Good show. Oh, hey, Phil. Glad to see you. If you like the episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, you want to support us, want to chat with us every day on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider $5 US donation. Go to our website and do it, though, hockeycardsgongshow.com. And join our $2.99 support level tier for Patreon. Link is in the show description for both Instagram, show description on YouTube and podcast apps. Yeah. Instagram, TikTok profiles, Patreon website directly, patreon.com, and just search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a production of Dollarbox Ventures, LLC. Have an awesome start to your week. We got a good show. Some interesting guests this week.
Big show.
Cool.
I'm really excited for 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Louis, take us out.
Bye.